North American stock futures are racing early declines to trade back into positive territory so far this morning. Just waiting. Some inflation data coming out this morning as well. Consumption data for the month of August released at 8:30 there. We'll double check on that when it comes through. But it's a brand new month. It's a brand new quarter as well. We're heading into Q4 coming off the back of a negative showing for all three U.S. markets in the month of September. We had the S&P down 4.8%, the Dow 4.3%. It was the NASDAQ, the worst off, 5.3% to the downside for the month. So 11 sectors in the S&P, only the energy sector in positive territory for the month of September. We'll see how things shape up heading into October. Pretty good start here. Very, very positive so far, coming off the lows that we saw early on in the pre-market. AMC shares back on watch this morning after that impressive move we saw late in the afternoon yesterday. They said they're going to repurchase some of their debt aftermarket as well. Are going to watch crypto as well. Big moves for cryptocurrencies overnight and here this morning. And Zoom officially squashing that deal to acquire Five9, $15 billion deal officially off the table. So Zoom is trading higher as well. It's Friday, October 1st, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at how things stand at this point. Yeah, nice positive numbers here right across the board. Just double checking on this consumption number that appears to be a little bit better than expected as well for August, 0.8 versus 0.6 on that number. Again, it's a key number that the Fed uses to judge inflation. So we'll keep an eye on the futures here. But yeah, direct your attention to the bottom of the board there because 10% for both, or better part of 10% for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Big bounces right across the board for cryptos and crypto stocks trading here in the pre-market back in positive territory as well. Good morning, guys. Friday, we made it to the end of the week. Neil is back. It is going to be an interesting one here as we head, as I said, into a new month, into a new quarter. It's an EV kind of a morning shaping up here.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely, there's a lot of EV news, certainly, and welcome, of course. But I mean, the crypto story is a bigger story. Like you said, 10%. I mean, depending on where you pick things up from particular time, it's still an impressive run. Thank you, Chairman Powell. We appreciate it. Hopefully, I don't mix up Merck and Mara too much today because Merck is not the kind of stock that's usually up 9 or 10%, but you are going to see that one on the radar. News yesterday with an acquisition, and then again today with an emergency use authorization. Delivery numbers from NEO. NEO already broke the 37 level. You'll see we both got that long side trade. So heck of a lot to be watching today. Crypto front of the mind, but hey, can the market start the month off right in positive territory after obviously what was not the greatest month in the world, but a pullback that was probably needed, and we'll see if it's over.
Yeah, it's not over. I think the S&P gets to probably 4,100 or so. We're at like what 4,300 right now. So I expect another 2 to 3, 4% maybe downside. But we'll see. I mean, today we're starting off good, but not really. I can't believe that we have so much exuberance here. Up 0.24 on the NASDAQ, up 0.36 in the S&P. So yeah, it's not starting off that great. I mean, I was expecting actually a much bigger bump than what we're seeing right now this morning. But I mean, it's nice. Some of the stocks are on rebound. I'm already long NEO. I'm already long AMC. Those should be some fun ones today. So I mean, we killed it yesterday. It was my best day of the month. So I mean, we're looking to do the same thing again here today, and we'll just keep trading the right names. And thanks for being with us one more time. So let's just wait to see where we go.
Yeah, I mean, the futures are interesting here. It was more the way we got back to positive territory. I mean, when I sat down, it was 0.6, 0.7 to the downside. So decent bump back higher here. Yeah, lots to talk about on an individual basis. Just watching Coinbase here as well, up 4% in the pre-market along with some of the cryptos. So before we go any further, let's get over to Miss V and say good morning.
Happy Friday, traders! It's first day of a new month. Markets are positive, and I'm wearing a green short and wishing you all the luck today. Please smash the like button and let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started. Just a quick note on the overall market here. If you go rewind the clock way back to the beginning of September, I can't believe that was already a month ago, guys. We put out a video talking about how historically September has been one of the worst performing months for U.S. equities. That continued, obviously, as we said, to start things off. 4.8% to the downside for the S&P, 4.3% for the Dow, and it was the NASDAQ 5.3% to the downside, officially clocking in for its negative months. It was a 4-month or 6-month winning streak, depending on with which market you're looking at. But overall, we officially broke the monthly winning streak, guys, for these markets. So heading into a new month and the last quarter of the year, it's interesting because historically, you know, October has had some of the worst crashes for markets right across the board. But it's also historically, if you look at some of the performances, the start of more positivity coming back into the market.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that have to settle themselves out, right? Like you do have, of course, I don't think the U.S. government is going to default in the debt. I'll get that one out of the way. I don't think it's going to happen. Usually these things get solved, but that's one big catalyst. And the bigger concern, I think, is that we got some inflation prints today. It is going to be, you know, what is the Fed going to do here? Because when you have these supply chain concerns, you're going to have, like, inflation is here whether you like it or not. And when you have the possibility that tapering is going to come in a raising rate environment, in a situation where if they come too hard, do they choke this recovery that we're having here coming out of COVID, especially with these price increases? These supply chain issues are what scare me the most. Because there's nothing you can do about the effect that that's going to have on prices to the extent that it continues. And if that lags too long and the consumer backs away and there's less confidence and people start saving, well, those two things don't set up very well long term. But that's more of a macro thing. So I think the Fed actually has their first real test here to see how they navigate this tapering, and I feel like that make them a little bit. You know, the length between tapering and raising rates might be a little bit longer than we anticipate here. But keep your ear to the ground, because what you want to hear is improvement with supply chain issues, and you want to hear it coming from these companies, right? Like you want to hear your Nikes saying it. You want to see this get a little bit better. And I think that's going to be a fantastic way to gauge some entry points into this market. Which again, like, yeah, I know Sean's absolutely right. Like, 0.25%, and as we say that now, 0.1% on the NASDAQ, it's not a heck of a lot. Like, we're not exactly getting a ridiculous bounce here or anything compared to the month that we had. And I kind of feel like there's going to be a lot of money that is very patient on these sidelines and not necessarily in a hurry just yet, which is where I'm at as well.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here or anything like that. It's just, like, we opened the show with, yeah, you know, markets are rallying back and this and that, but they're actually not. You can see the NASDAQ's only up 0.1. And I just want to sort of like calm everybody's expectations here. I think it's nice. There's a lot of nice things happening in the market, but there's way more negativity in my opinion. I mean, China's still not sorted out. Neil just talked about the debt ceiling as well, although I don't think that's going to be that big of an issue. Evergrande still, like, whatever happened to them? They defaulted, they didn't default, they paid, they didn't pay. Like, is there more to come there? Like, where's the house of cards on that? Although I don't think that extends over to the US. But I mean, I have up here the S&P 500, and it's just, I think we can pull back a little bit more. I mean, this is why I said 4,100. It's the 200 period moving average. That's it. So it's right here, and you know, we can retest. And even if we pull back, I think it's a healthy pullback, setting up for the biggest rip-your-face rally in the last year. I think we're going to rip off into the closing of the year, into December. I think December we're going to be right back to all-time highs. I'm just getting ready to load the boat up, and I just think we can fall a little bit more. And I mean, is it worth now dipping into Apple at 141? Yeah, of course it is. If I think it's going to rip off at the end of the year, then you got to be in things, right? I'm already huge into equities. Like, I'm only like 10% cash or something. It's not like this is the end of the world or anything. And I just think that there's just so much negativity right now. I don't have that much faith in the current administration. I mean, I don't hear any talk about China. This infrastructure bill can't get going. Like, there's nothing. I'm not that positive on the overall environment right now. You have the 10-year is going to start to rally as well again. So it's just like slow down. That's all that I'm saying. Look, we started the show with the NASDAQ was what, 0.4? This is when I just went on that rant when I said the market's probably going to be down. So there you go. You chopped out 0.3 right there. So 1/3% in about 5 minutes. So let's just see where we go, and that's all. So I just want you traders out there, just like we've been advising a little bit, to move on. Just be careful. I don't know if today's the day to start loading up, but to start nibbling, yes. I mean, I think there's going to be a monster rally coming. I just don't think it's right now, and I think we got to test a little bit lower, find those bottoms, and then bang to the upside. So look, I'm super excited for this market, and let's just get going and start October off on the right foot. Yesterday was pretty much a perfect day for us. Bed Bath & Beyond was a monster. GameStop was a monster. AMC was good, could have been bigger. And CEI was absolutely huge. Pult was absolutely huge yesterday. So yeah, let's turn our frowns upside down and let's just rally this market if it can go. But I'm a little bit hesitant to start loading things up right now. Just be a little cautious. I think 4,100 isn't an unbelievable call.
Very positive news this morning coming from Merck, MRK, out with great data on this magic pill. I saw somebody call it a magic pill for COVID-19, showing hospitalization and death rates cut in half in this latest study that they released data. There's this ATEA, another pharmaceutical company, which is AVIR, is the ticker symbol here, just popped up once again, making another high here in the pre-market. Blew through 50, blew through 51 there on big volume. So this company also working on something similar, so kind of benefiting from that pop in Merck. But we will talk about both of those coming up here very shortly. But as I mentioned, a bit of an EV focus this morning. Michael Noss is a chartered market technician for Trade Ideas and joins us once again this morning to talk a little bit about the EV space. Great to have you once again, Michael. And this is obviously, a very popular topic, a very popular sector. A lot of people paying lots of attention to this. We get, delivery numbers from NIO today, another huge boost right across the board, both quarterly and on the monthly delivery numbers for NIO. How have you guys been looking at EVs?
Yeah, well, we've noticed, you guys were mentioning about September being a fairly rough month for the market. And of course it was. And one of the things that I like to do and we like to do at Trade Ideas with our artificial intelligence is look at relative strength, right? So what's doing the best in the market overall? So when we do that, we like to compare things versus the index or the S&P 500, in which where is the money going? Just a quick chat about relative strength is that, generally speaking, market participants, the big ones, the institutions and the hedge funds and everything, they don't sell, they move. So they'll go from place to place to place wherever they think they're going to get kind of the best return at the time. So I have some charts here I can share. But here we go. Perfect. So this first one is actually just that. It's the Drive ETF, which is just an ETF of self-driving and electronic vehicles versus the S&P 500. So to explain this chart just briefly, when it's going up, it means that EVs are outperforming the rest of the market. And when it's coming down, it means EVs are underperforming the rest of the market. So we all know through 2020 and everything, when the initial craze started, they were doing great relative to the market, and they've actually come in a little bit recently, but it looks like it may have found a relative base here to the market, and we could be breaking out. So that was the main reason that I picked these stocks that the AI was looking at as opposed to anything else. So let's go over to the next one into some individual names here. So first is Ride. So Ride had some news yesterday. You can see the gap up. They were selling a factory or something like that. You can also see the buy ticker on where the AI got interested in it, and it got interested in it and then it chopped around for about a month or so. So this breakout yesterday is interesting. I noticed in the pre-market today, as you were mentioning with that NEO news, we had a nice little pop from that as well. So hopefully, kind of the way I'm going to play this, as long as we're over that base from, September and a little bit of August, I'm going to try to be long. And as we break back under that base, that's going to be where I'm going to exit that one. So let's look at the next one here. Perfect. So this is Sun W, not exactly an EV, but these EVs and solar kind of plays seem to work hand in hand. And this is a really good technical pattern that I've studied a lot, which is just your declining wedge, basically just meaning things are getting tighter and tighter and tighter as things are going down. You can see 2 days ago is when the AI was like, hey, this may be a bottom. Myself, I want to wait for this trend line to break. That's where I'll get involved. And then a stop just right under those lows makes for a pretty tight stop on that one. Let's go look at the next one here. And this is LAC. I'm not exactly sure what a lot of these do. This is the benefit of being a CMT instead of a CFA. Just like you guys, we look at the charts, we look at the statistics, and we go from there. But you can see that the AI has already been in this one. It took a buy and then it took a sell a little bit later. But when I was going through them, I noticed that this bull flag seems to be pretty prevalent here. So above that, I'm interested. And then again, right below that, so $20 or so is when I would put a stop there. And over to the next one here. This is QS, Quantum Systems, which is a lot of people know about this one. Basically, you can see 2 buys in the AI. So it liked it when it gapped up that day, and then it liked it a little bit more when it broke out of this base. And now it's pulling back down into that area. So I like buying pullbacks as opposed to buying rips myself personally. So I'm going to see if we hold this kind of line I drew in, long above it, kind of short below it type of thing. And over to the next one here. And this is for solar. Again, solar and EV seem to work pretty well together because a lot of people who are buying these want to power them with that. And you can see, again, the AI was interested at this level. It's still at about this level. So I drew in kind of some horizontal resistance. If we can take that out today, and I think it's about 97.5 or so, that's where I'll be interested. See if we can get through that 100 area. And I believe I've got one more chart that actually pulled. I was following you guys on Twitter, and there was a little short video, and Neil said that he was a big fan of NEO with the report that was coming out today. And I encourage people to take a look at what's called the whack-off bottom, which is just a long technical pattern, which is kind of what's forming here, where you get that bottom at support and then a little break under it and then a rip back up over it, showing that, some people call it a bear trap, but it seems to be like there's some heavy support to play off here. So I'm definitely with Neil on this one, where I really like the look of NEO. No AI call on this one, but it's just something that I was looking at myself. And I think that's all my charts for today.
Yeah, and one of those, Neil, one of those stocks, the market, I guess, kind of looks to for direction as far as, the Chinese names at least are concerned. We can have a look at XPeng as well. XPEV looks very similar, in fact, on a daily chart. We appreciate it. Michael Noss, chartered market technician for Trade Ideas. Again, the EV space, guys, going to be one to watch going forward. Have a great weekend, Michael.
Thank you very much. You too now.
There we go. Interesting look there, guys, on a few of those. I mean, we talk about a number of these on a regular basis. Some of the solar names, though, have kind of been lingering in the background there. Michael mentioned First Solar, FSLR, nice looking chart.
I have to speak to Michael personally because that whack-off bottom, I don't know if he has that trademarked or whatever, but the chat seemed to like that one. So I'll keep that with Michael there, and maybe he can give us another whack-off bottom next time around. But
I love
yeah,
I love
and it's good that he mentioned that. I had that good idea about having Valeria post those videos up every morning. So I'm glad that Michael's watching them, and I'm glad that you guys are as well. And then Valeria had the idea today to come over and ask me and Neil. So that was a good one. I think that was really good. But yeah, thanks again. And that's Trade Ideas. And, support them. We like them. A great scanner, of course. And thank you to Michael for coming through and bringing us some new names.
Yeah, I mean, even like First Solar, name I guess we're familiar with, right? And it's one of those, sometimes you pull up the chart and it's just some things are going to stand out to you as well. I know we're flat in the day and it's not doing a lot of pre-market volume, so I don't know if the day trade is necessarily going to be there, but yeah, I don't know if anything stands out to you guys on the 15-minute if you like trading breakouts. Maybe you see a little something here. I don't know. 97 on First Solar. But yeah, it's little things like this. And you just want to have more eyeballs everywhere, and you want to have some patterns that you're looking for to be able to catch some of these moves. Because for short-term traders, all we care about is you want that movement, you want those catalysts, and you want those setups that are actionable and will be having a positive expectancy for you there. So, I mean, First Solar now on my radar here, and I think some other names, I think it was Lithium. Was it Lithium Mining, I think you brought up as well, is another interesting company. I see some people in the chat were talking about that as well. So lots to look at today. Yeah, we're not really holding that green too well. Looks like before the market opens up, NASDAQ will be red.
Yeah, what a surprise that's about to happen. And yeah, we'll see. The NASDAQ should be red, as we'll find out. We'll pick some stocks through the weeds there. That's what I was trying to do. Oh, here, this is through the weeds. Here we go. This is through the weeds. Yeah, we'll find some stocks. There we go. Stocks bounce around. There we go. Yeah, we'll find them for you in the weeds. But yeah, I like NEO to go to the upside here. We are into AMC right now. And we'll go over our watch list. And that's what we're about to do right now. But I do like AMC. We're in that up another 4% today.
Here, guys, still making a few moves in the pre-market. The CEO was on CNBC. They're talking about this Foxconn deal in Ohio. So if you remember yesterday, Michael was just mentioning that as well. Ride Lordstown selling their Ohio plant to Foxconn. It looks like Foxconn is going to work with Fisker to produce some of their vehicles in that plant. So FSR 3% here. Trying to hold 15. It did come off a little bit there, actually, while he was speaking on CNBC.
Yep. I mean, Fisker's the only name that I would be. I mean, I'm getting excited to play off that whack-off bottom of NEO, but I like Fisker. I think Fisker has a good chance. It's one of the only ones that only EV space really that I like here. I mean, we talked about Tesla, obviously. I'm in Tesla from a long time, and I think most of you probably are as well. But I mean, Fisker right here, it took the 50-period moving average, which is something that I use all the time, and I'm glad to introduce that to many of you for sure. And then 1450 here, some support. I mean, you have some good support, I believe, here at 1250 for sure. So, again, you're going to have to make some calls in the EV space. I actually don't mind that drive ETF to get a little bit of everything, so you could do that as well. But yeah, if there's going to be one winner, I like it to be, I mean, there's going to be multiple winners, I think, but I like Fisker. I like what they're doing. They're on track, kind of like Lucid there to produce their car. So we'll see. It's a Fisker Ocean, and we'll just see where it goes. I mean, I think you can see $20 by December. I mean, I made that call on Palantir. I'll make it right here on Fisker. I think we take this 20 out by December, and by the end of December. So yeah, if this rip your face off rally is going to happen, like I think it is, then you want to be in some of these names, especially the high flyers, and Fisker can bump. You see 3% today, 3% tomorrow. The next thing you know, you're at that $20. So let's just wait to see. I'm in Fisker, and I'm in it about here. I think I'll double check my price, but we got in on this Morgan bump, so that was like 17, I believe. We got in like on the aftermarket when that happened, and then we did buy some back down here off of that 1250. So yeah, we're into Fisker, but we're only in it about here, so you can join the party if you want.
And there's going to be some interesting names I know today that are going to be on, well, it should be on everybody's watch list for some upgrades and downgrades. I know we're going to talk about a bunch of them. One, I'm kind of kicking myself that I missed out on trading yesterday there, Brendo, on the red side of that upgrade downgrade board.
Yeah, we talked about Bed Bath & Beyond, obviously, with earnings. Downgraded today, Robert. Baird cutting price target. CGC, I just noticed on this side of the board as well this morning. Spirit as well, obviously, Boeing ties. Dominion 5.9, an upgrade even when Zoom says, nah, we'll pass on that deal. Paycheck and Southwest, guys, some of the airlines back in positive territory today.
So, I mean, with regards to 5.9, just one of the things you'll see, and they're actually up on the session currently after a little bit of a bump in the pre-market. When that deal gets terminated, it was an all-stock deal. And at the time it was announced, I mean, Zoom was down something close to 30%. Their stock price was down from the time that deal was announced. And 5.9 was not quite as big of a pullback from the announcement. And one of those things is, in that kind of an environment, that takes the premium down a little bit, and the shareholders didn't like it. And maybe there was going to be some antitrust concerns, but that's what happens in an all-stock deal. 5.9 itself is right in front of some obvious support. If you look at it, I don't have a name for it, but we'll call it like 150 to the mid 150s here. Certainly has some support on this stock, and it catches the upgrade today. I don't think it's all doom and gloom for them. I don't think it's all doom and gloom for Zoom either. But that's a pretty key level that you'd like to see it hold up. If it doesn't, I mean, shareholders might be unhappy that they didn't take the deal. Overall, but I wouldn't overreact to, I guess, the print for either one of these two companies, whether it's 5.9 or Zoom. And ultimately, when you see something like that, if you ever see an extreme situation like this with an all-stock deal, where the acquiring company is beaten up that badly, and the environment in some of those high-fly tech names is looking like it was. Sometimes you can anticipate that deal might not go through. That's one thing I'm always going to file away from now on.
Yeah, I don't. I have no interest really in any of those names right now. But yeah, when those deals fall apart, that's kind of what happens. I still like Zoom. I think Zoom is a good opportunity to pick some shares up there. And yeah, let's just, for me, I'll move on from that story.
Let's get into what is moving around here in the pre-market, guys. If you haven't done so already, that's the link. You need to go and get our morning watch list absolutely free every single day. You just need an email address. Miss V will help you out in the chat if you do want to grab that. Let's talk about AMC here, guys. We had that impressive move, to say the least, yesterday afternoon. They all kind of went at the same time. I mean, there was a couple of tweets that were floating around with regards to some trades made through Robinhood the SEC was looking into. It was more a timing thing that was curious about that. They did come out after market, AMC, and said they're going to repurchase some of their debt once again, which is obviously another positive. But here we go again, back to the upside for AMC.
Yeah, sometimes the trades will load and sometimes they won't. But yesterday, we had a great trade on GameStop. I mean, maybe GameStop will load up as well here. Let's just see if that does. I don't know if it will on the 1 minute chart here. But yeah, no, this is yesterday's move on GameStop. Same thing. We went long on this break and we're able to get out like 184, 185. But let's go over to AMC quickly here. Yeah, a big move yesterday, breaking some levels there and then on some potential tweets. I mean, as soon as we took out this $36 right there, it just started to go up in the afternoon, and you see tons of volume coming in. We're able to take advantage of this, and then we actually had a short into the end of the show where Arun and I were like, wow, we're gonna get in shit for going short, but then we had that short, and then we actually had that long. So we traded this back and forth yesterday, and it was actually quite a good trade for me, and we made some money on this yesterday for sure. And then now today I'm in it again. So we just took out that 39.50 level. So we'll wait to see what happens here on the daily chart. This is right where we're at. We're trying to, and this is why I like the 39.50. It's right at that 50 period moving average. It looks like it's trying to break out a little bit. We could always play this back to 38. I think it's, that's risky to do that, to hold it all the way back down there, but we'll average in. I just think that it got going yesterday on volume. Why can't it sort of continue today? That 39.50 is trying to hold. You have this top here of 39.20. Some consolidation here yesterday, obviously at those levels we were talking about, 38, if not a close at that 37.50. Remember, the market absolutely crashed near the end of the day, right? So that's where you get this movement on there. And I just wonder if the market would have gone up, would have AMC kind of just continued to flow with it? So today, if we are positive on the market, which we're trying to battle back here, and I hope today's going to be a positive day for the market, then you'll see AMC, I'm hoping, to start to climb out. So I wait for this 42. If we get there, we get there. I will be emptied out by then. But, this is a level where we had some bouncing around yesterday, and it just concerns me a little bit that, it tried to go. Look at all these wicks normally, and that's what Michael was talking about, the wick off bottom, right? So maybe this is the wick off top right here for AMC as well. So I mean, you do have some opportunities to get short up here and then get out. So I'm going to look to see if 41.50 holds. That's great. But yeah, I'm in the long, and I don't want to be short, so I want to be long this name. So I'm in it right now, and I'll see what happens if we come back down to 38. It's a good average in spot.
Yeah, without a ton of news here, I kind of feel like if it gets to 42, it's probably going to take it. So any short I like in AMC, just looking at my 15, is going to be below it. Like it'd have to be something turning off a lower high, and I'd target 41 to 41.50 with the idea that if it gets to this top here from last week, where it stalled out yesterday, then I kind of feel like that's a level that probably gets taken out. On the dip, it's an interesting level that does come in here, and it's actually below that 38.50, just tiny bit below. So I think if it broke 38.50, there's a decent chance that you could have some support in between 38 and 38.50, just looking at what was resistance in the past couple of sessions turning into that support level. So I'm going to be playing AMC in that regard, sort of staying away from here. I don't love the 40 break overall, and I'm not in the 39.50 either, so I'm looking to see if I can't catch a bit of a dip with a tight stop at that 38 level, and then I wouldn't be shorting it unless it was 41 to 41.50, and probably not right in front of 42 either. Like I'd want that one. I want to be out of that one if it even approaches that high. It just feels like if it gets all the way there, likely to make that take.
All right, let's have a look at the overall market here. We'll bring in Arun and get his opinion on how we are shaping up here heading into, as we said, Q4. First day of the month, Arun, what's up?
New month, who dis? That's pretty much the logic you got to going with, because everything from yesterday is kind of gone out the window because it's mostly program related work with the portfolios being adjusted and whatnot. So you had that kind of severe move right towards the end. So now the market's kind of found its footing a little bit, found some support areas to work with. And now here we are above this 4,300 area and sitting well into the 4310s. It has got some decent strength, but at the same time, I see some points of interest for the sell side. It's yesterday when we broke down, I marked off 4320 as a level, and we respected that level today. So if we can get a decent short, and this is going to be a very, very tight window here, I'm going to look somewhere between 13, 14 up to 20. So the risk is going to be about 6 or 7 points. If we can get a setup on the short side, that sets up nicely. I'd like to go ahead and take the short if it's available, but you cannot deny the fact that we have strength on the buy side. So I'm going to mark off 42.95 as the bottom end level right at the end there from yesterday. I noticed there was some program strength around that area. So 42.95, I'm going to mark off to the bottom. 43.20 we've got as resistance carried over from yesterday. And then the big level that I mentioned yesterday when I was there was anything between 43.35 up to 43.50. There's a massive chunk of resistance up there. So if you can get a nice little rotation in that area, I think a fade could be an option. If we break through the 20s and then we kind of fade into the 35s going into the 50s, I think that's a nice little option there with the 43.60 as your stop. I would just like to put 60 as a stop instead of 50. So the area is about 15 points from 35 up, but then the stop is another 10 points from the top end of that range. So 43.60 up top, 43.20 is the closest level, potential shorts in the next 5 points if you can get a setup. And then you have 42.95, which is going to be a support below the even level based on program trading yesterday. And then absolute low from overnight is going to be 42.60, which is, 50 points away. So it's a wide window. It's a Friday. We got a lot of activity done this week. Quarter's done. Now here we are. How are we going to start October? Right now, the markets are up 0.3%, 0.33% on the S&P 500, and NASDAQ is up 0.17. So keep an eye on the relationship there, because yesterday we noticed that the S&P was much weaker than tech, and now tech seems to be slightly underperforming at the S&P today. So, well, I guess based on yesterday, tech was overperforming, right? Because it was actually still green at one point when the S&P was negative. So in this case, you are looking at the S&P trying to do catch up here with tech, given the strength that tech had yesterday. So for now, just keep an eye on the relationship. Remember, the big dogs, Microsoft and Apple, right? Those are the top two names, index weights. So keep an eye on those going forward. Just regardless of whether you trade them or not, just keep an eye on them because they tend to lead. They tend to not even lead. They tend to drag the market in a direction if they decide to get aggressive. So just keep an eye on those two. Just have them up. And maybe if you guys are trading futures, helps kind of determine the direction a little bit as well. Kind of confirms the information that you're looking at. But I've given you guys a level. 43.20 is the closest level, and maybe we can get a short there if we get a nice little setup in the next 5 months.
Lots to digest on a Friday. Thanks, Arun. Have a great weekend. We'll check back in again on Monday. Let's talk Zoom, guys. ZM. Finally getting a bit of a bounce. Daily chart's a bit of a mess still on the way down, but yeah, it's the 5.9 deal getting squashed. FIVN, the other side of that. If you want to look at that ticker as well, it was 5.9 shareholders saying, nope, pass.
Yeah, and like we were talking about there, I mean, at the end of the day, Zoom's chart on the daily, you can see it's just a more precipitous decline since the deal was announced. And if it's going to be all stock, that's what's going to happen. I mean, the shareholders might not be happy with that premium. Zoom's getting close, man. I mean, Zoom is sitting here just, I can zoom in a little bit, pun intended. It's bouncing off of this 250 area. So what I would kind of expect to happen here is maybe you find a bit of a base between 250 and 270. If we get an update in the market, though, this is one of the first stocks that could be really strong to go here. And I'm kind of looking at this 275 area. And with the way the market is sort of bouncing around, we got up close to 0.5% and back to flat, now a quarter. You do feel like there's at least still a chance that it wants to start the week off in positive territory. And then the 75 break comes into play for Zoom. The other end of that spectrum is, you're probably going to want to be sticking the longs as close as you can to that 250 level, or at least the higher lows that it has in front of it at 55, maybe even to 60. So if it starts to dip down, this is not one that I would be running to the hills to pick up early on in a move. But on a consolidation break, like this sets up well at that 275, just going off of that recent resistance last week. So I want to make sure the market's with me on that one. The fact that the deal got canceled, I mean, clearly, look, no one's acquiring a company unless they think it's good for them, right? Like there are certain synergies there that they wanted to have happen, but at the same time, you're not further diluting the stock, and I think that's part of the positive reaction that's going to be happening here. And then there might have been some anticipation that this was going to happen anyways, and a little bit of a relief rally off of that. But it's super low pre-market volume, usually in Zoom, but it is much, much higher as you might expect here today. So I'm looking 275 break. You might have to have a bit of a tight stop on that. I wouldn't buy dips unless it got closer to those 60s though.
All right, guys, here we go. A name that you all want to talk about a little bit. We'll go with a bang here as Palt right now rips through 12. So we're long right now, 12.02 here on PALT was my #1 stock yesterday. We absolutely destroyed this name, and we'll just see what happens here now. I mean, we just went up 30 cents. We didn't take it. Let's see where we go from here. But Palt right there, Pal Talk. I think it was I don't know if it was the trade day yesterday or the day before, but a good trade here. We halted yesterday. We all saw how that worked. I think there's only 3.75 million shares or something outstanding on this one. And yeah, what a great one it was yesterday for us, man. We had this. Oh, here it is. So my charts are actually loading up. Let's just see what we did on Palt yesterday. Takes out the pre-market high there. We bang that. That's what we just did right now. It could fall back in. We do have support at 10. I mean, 12 to 10 is too much. I won't be holding it for that far. Yesterday, we were only at 10, 10.50. Hit that, bang, bang, bang. Then we hit it as it was halting to the upside. There's your $2 winner right there on the upside move. And then we stopped at about 14. Then we hit it again and then dropped out our last little piece right there. So Palt yesterday was a big time winner for us. And we'll look to rinse and repeat that here as it just breaks through 12, which again is that pre-market high right there of 12. And then it just went to 12.40 there. So hopefully we'll be able to get some out. We'll take a first piece out here at 30 if we can. Take 30 cents on this. Start the day off with a little bit of money. And then we'll just we'll go from there. But first of all, we need to get out. So no money yet. We're waiting for 30s, Brendo.
GROM just popping up as well, guys. One from a couple days back. Runner this week as well that's been all over social media sites. Crypto stocks, guys. We'll talk about a few of them here. 10% we saw for Bitcoin, Ethereum right across the board. That had Coinbase up about 4% in the pre-market. Mara, Riot, all the usual suspects a little more active today.
Yeah, Coinbase, look, it hasn't been the best for Coinbase pulling back, but you've got support. It has had support at 225. What I love about where Coinbase is right now, well, what I like about where Coinbase is right now, I should say, is you have a bit of a cluster area, which we're getting into at the open on this pullback, about this 35 into call it like this 33, where I think we could get a chop zone, right? And this is not a stock that has been moving around as much lately, but there's still those good $5, $10 type moves that you can get in a Coinbase. And if you're going to be, I'm going to be bullish on crypto here today. And first of all, if you were lucky enough to get part of that crypto accident last night, good for you. That was absolutely fantastic. I don't know about asking for the money back. Let's see if they actually have that happen. But Coinbase, in between that 33 to 35, that's the target area for me. So if it dips down here at the open, I'm probably a buyer. And you give it an extra 50 cents to a buck because you're looking for $5, $10 moves. I'm looking to probably pop some bids in here, which I'm close to doing. We're getting close enough to 930 here to start looking at that 233 area on the dip here in Coinbase. And then, just sort of look to those even dollars. They cover some in the cluster around past that 35 mark. 240 does set up for a breakup, but we're far enough from that I think the dip buy is much more likely to come into play here, guys. So I think it's a fantastic bounce back. You had that it was 27 on Ethereum, and now you're getting right back to that 32 mark. Bitcoin heading back towards that 50,000 after holding key support as well. Coinbase, not as impressive looking on the daily chart, and it's not a pretty one, but it's trying. This is the other thing I like. It is trying to put in a higher low of support here. So if it does manage to hold out, there is a chance that we can finally get the real move that I think is happening in Coinbase. And first things first, it has to break out from this standpoint, and that's going to be through that 240. I'll be buying the dip into that.
For me, forget about all this nonsense. I think you just got to buy, honestly. I mean, just buy crypto. Like, I'm in Coinbase, but the stock sucks. So I don't really know, what to tell you guys. I'll just keep picking up bottoms on it. Eventually, it'll go back up. I like Coinbase. I like what they're doing. I think they're going to be a strong exchange. And, if there's going to be a survivor, I think there's going to be lots of exchanges that survive. But, I mean, at the same time, you just have to buy crypto. I mean, if we bought it when it was at 30, at 40, like that was just like, what if you bought Coinbase July 21st? Look at the chart of Coinbase for July 21st. I don't even have it up, but that wasn't $30 and now it's 47, right? So, I mean, that little bump up right there alone is 50% since July, right, in crypto, right? 30 to 47. All right, so that's already a 50% bump right there. Coinbase is doing nothing. So I would say, look, you buy the crypto. I like ADA. I like, I don't mind Ripple here at these levels. Here's Cardano here. We did buy some at $2. We haven't really sold much of this. We did sell a little bit actually right around here and then bought some back. It felt bad. And I was like, why am I even selling this thing? You have some dollars there as well. And Cardano's actually really not moving that much with respect to everything else. So maybe Ethereum is going to be the right play. And again, just like go back here. You could have, like what Neil was saying there, you could have bought, like let's just go August. So August, like this, bottom, 17, 18. Even if you say $2,000 on Ethereum, right? You buy Ethereum, you double your money. You double your money in about a month there. And now who's playing it like that? A lot of people aren't getting in and out. There's people are hodling crypto. But I mean, I stay far away from the exchange now. And you can see I don't really ever talk about Coinbase or anything like that anymore because if you look at it, it's just, for me, it's just dead money. It's just sitting there waiting to do something. I mean, I don't know. It's not following crypto, obviously, the way that we all wanted it to. So I don't look at it like that. I mean, here's like, look, so if we go back to August, I mean, here's the Coinbase chart. I was just talking about it. So it's a double in Ethereum from this level, and Coinbase, you're getting $6. So Coinbase, if you bought it on August 2nd, you paid $2.30. Yesterday, you got $2.25. Okay, so a much, much different story than something like this, buying down here, making this move all the way back up. So for me, it's stay far away from the exchanges, maybe worth getting some into at these levels. But if you are a crypto bull, then just anything you're debating putting into Coinbase, just throw it into GBTC if you don't want to buy the actual coin itself. So I would just, I'm a big bull here at these levels, and I think crypto goes much higher.
All right, let's go to Merck. 8.5% now for MRK out with data on this experimental pill form treatment, the first of its kind for COVID-19, showing a 50% decline in hospitalizations and death in this latest study that they had on this treatment. So it's the first in pill form. Any other COVID treatment that they have currently from these companies, it's all IV form. So this was a big bump here today, guys, for a company like Merck.
Yeah, yesterday was the acquisition. Today, you're going to get this drug coming out, and it doesn't usually move like 9 or 10%. I was joking about that at the beginning of the show. There's probably not a ton of resistance till Merck gets to 85, but then you have to also keep in mind how much it normally moves, right? At the end of the day, when you get this big of a move in something like a Merck, you might turn before that resistance comes in. And just sort of pointing out the daily chart so you guys get an idea of that. Because I come in here and look at this 82 test a couple of times, and you're forming a bit of a channel here. You just bounced at 80.50, 80.35, like just above that 80 even mark, 80.25 being about the lowest of those bounces, and then still finding resistance at the high of the day. So this kind of sets up that if we break that 80.25, some of that gap might try to fill in into the downside here on something like a Merck. And if it breaks 82, like I said, there's not a lot of resistance till you get to 85. But if that bottom gets taken out at the open, you do have an obvious sort of stop out area at that 82. It does set you up for, hey, a test and then a fail at that particular price. It's a trade I've put on in Moderna before. I put it on in Novavax, never in Merck. But it's worked a lot of times here when you get that positive news on some of these sort of COVID-related drug companies. So it's one that I'm going to be looking out here for today. I mean, Moderna, we just got a super chat on Moderna, and thank you so much for that. And I was just sort of replying in there. Yeah, I've been looking for Moderna to fall to this price for a while, saying the downward spiral that it was on was likely to obviously find support around this 360 level. That's the test that we're getting today. So far, The buyers are trying to be up to that test. It's probably easier to see on the 1 minute chart. Now, the buyers have been sort of up to that test, but this is just pre-market volume and it's relatively light. It is testing that 360. It's broken it before, and when it's broken, it's like gone $10 and come back. So I'm looking to see if we get a dead cat bounce on Moderna. Well, it's not a dead cat, it's strong stock. If we get a bounce on Moderna today, but I am willing to allow it to break 360. Like the way I would approach the trade on Moderna would be sort of how I looked at like that short at 9:30. Where you're looking to have a stock pop up, fail to break a high, or even break that high and then immediately reject it. That's what I'd be looking for here in Moderna. Like, is it break that 360 low? If it tests into it and then can hold up, I go long in front of the 360. If it breaks 360 and can't follow through, then I'd be looking to try to catch a long back through that particular price, but not trying to be stubborn with it because the trend is clearly to the downside, and this would be a counter trend move. I've been usually shorting the stock. Today I'm going to be looking to see if there isn't a bit of a buy that we can make around that 360.
Okay, so that's for a long term, I guess. Or,
no, this is for the day trade.
Just for today. Okay. Yeah, Moderna's coming out to some good, nice levels on the daily chart for sure. So that's why I asked about that. I was thinking about something similar. How about Clover Health right now? They come out announcing new plans for Medicare. It doesn't seem to really want to rally the stock, but this is a 20-minute chart right here, and I'm just looking at these levels. So if we could take out some of these, then we are gonna go long. The wick high today is 765 there. Sorry, 760, but I like this break of 765 on Clover Health, so we're going to take that as well. That breaks out. We'll take Clover long through 765. So definitely looking for that one. Oh, and by the way, I see some people talking about Affirm. Yesterday, man, fire off the hot dogs. I hope we have that Affirm chart. It was a monster trade. Nah, I don't have it. We shorted right here into the close yesterday. This is a 1 minute chart, unfortunately, not loading up. But yeah, we had this whole short, guys, all the way down here into the close yesterday on Affirm. It's right here. It's going to be hard to see, but bouncing around this. Remember, this was 121, and then it just tanked at the end of the day. So that was a good trade as well. But we'll watch out for Affirm today, trying to make moves. If it takes out this 121. Again, the market goes, they love Affirm. So we'll see where that goes. But Affirm's going to be a good trade for sure into hopefully a rally market. Watch out for 121 break.
All right, let's talk NIO, guys. Moving on, delivery numbers today, as we said. Better than expected delivery numbers for both the month and the quarter as well. So up across the board here, 125.7% year over year for Q3, 100.2% for year over year cumulative. And it was across all models as well, which was nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, you're hoping that this is going to be a bit of a catalyst to get off of that bottom that we were talking about there with our guest, and thanks and thanks for you guys sort of, not just liking the name, but sort of ingratiating yourself to some new information and other ways of looking at things. And what I love about this for the day trade and on the breakout, and maybe even for a dip buy as well, is you have far support at that 35 area, right? That's been in there, and it's broken at times, but it's just whipped right back. And it's the reaction when it tests that 35. It just sort of can never have that runway through it unless tons of momentum, then it just snaps back. Like when it actually broke the level, it was an absolutely hard snap back. And then you start thinking about what's the top end of that range. And for the most part, it's been this 3650 area. And I think that's where the cover is, not the cover, I think that's where the support is today. So if we dip down into that 36.5, I'm sort of comfortable testing that out for a bit of a buy, in addition to the breakout that we took and scalped some out already. So I want to be back on the bid in front of 3650 on NEO. If you do look at the daily chart, yeah, it's had some trouble getting going, but you are forming a wedge down here for a potential break, right? So you have a couple of things that's setting up here, potential break on NEO on a longer time frame. You have a potential higher level of support jumping in front of that 35 at 3650, and if that can hold at the open, then it can be all systems go for NEO trade today. I obviously already have it long at 37, took some out. I am looking to buy that dip again. I'm holding off. As we're sort of sliding back down, I'm holding off till we get either closer to 930 or closer to that 3650 area to pick some shares up on the bid. And then we'll see what happens at 930, right? So this is going to be in play today. There were several other, EV names that you can be looking at. Of course, Lordstown is making moves. Lucid's been going crazy recently. You were talking about Fisker there. It's sort of back to the well with NEO, the tried and tested and tried and true as well day trading name, at least for us here.
Let's continue along here. We'll talk Aterian, A-T-E-R, a big mover over the past couple of weeks. Out this morning announcing they've officially launched the beta version of their affiliate platform called Deal Mojo for ATER.
So this one's coming. You guys remember when it squeezed upside here and just how hard it's come back, and it's been in that downward trend since. Worth noting, like since it had that squeeze top 19, it tried to first put in support, basically exactly where we are right now, like just above $11, and then you had a flush through that level in the middle of this week. It tried to get through that yesterday, getting up to 1180, and then you got this lower high here in the pre-market. If it breaks 1180.12 on ATER, fair enough. Maybe it's trying to break back out into that 14. Otherwise, I want to be fading pops in this stock. I just feel, once you've done this, I'm usually looking for a pure trend reversal, so I will be bullish on it. And I look at that 1180 on ATER and say below that price or in front of it, that's where you'd want to jump into a short trade. I think you can give it all the way into yesterday's high. That's why I have the 15-minute chart up. That's 1180. Because if you just simply looked at it off of the 1 minute chart here, like you'd probably say to yourself, okay, well, yeah, you're shorting it anything in the 40s to 50s and giving it to an 1165 high. But I think you have to give that to the 1180 high of yesterday's action. So it's on my radar. If it pops going into 930, I want to be shorting this one between, like anywhere 40s to 60s with an 80 stop makes sense for me. And if this thing gets above $12, then I'd think about being bullish on it.
Yeah, I'm just looking right now. I was putting some orders in for NEO, but look at Pult right now. Pult's starting to go as well again. That's NEO. If the chart will load up, there it is. So right now, Pult does come back down and retest that 12. So that's a good little level for us. Let's watch out for 1240 to go off the top here on this one as well. I heard you guys talking about NEO a little bit. We're in this name, obviously right now, taking out that 37, went up to here. We didn't get out. And now we'll wait to see if it falls back into this area here, 36 and change on NEO. So, I have some more bids down there. We'll see on the 20-minute chart, into this area is not bad, 36. A little bit nervous if we actually get into here, 35, 30, 35, 80. Obviously, the bottom's going to be 35, but we'll wait to see on NEO. I want to average in here. I'm still a little bit nervous about this NASDAQ. I don't mind where it's at right now, but at the same time, you look at this chart, big move off the bottom here. Tried to hold the top. We'll see if it does that. Takes out this 14,750 there. That'll be pretty important to happen. So if we could take that out, then I think a lot of these, I'm 3 longs right now. They'll all run if the market goes. But again, pretty nervous about this opening. We'll check out the imbalances quickly here. I don't think we've done that yet. Okay, so Merck obviously to the buy side. We all know about that. These are not without NASDAQ. They come at 928. So for right now, look at this. Everything's a B, right? We got a few cells there. LYG, it's not going to be anything. Coke, but these numbers are also very, very small. I was expecting to get a little bit of bigger bumps today, considering it's the first of the month. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, so we're going to watch out now. Carnival as well right now. Nice buy through $26. So, yeah, lots happening. There's Carnival right here on the 20-minute chart looking to break back above this level here, 26. So if that does happen, you could get a little bump in Carnival as well. Lots of stuff happening, man. It's only 9:22 right now. The day's ahead of us.
A few little ones, bottom end of the list this morning, guys. I wanted to mention Ride as well. Lordstown, I think it's 3 days to the upside now. On that news yesterday, again, the Ohio plant being sold. They're teaming up with another company on production as well. We also had this one. I know Neil's watching this one as well. This is very interesting to me. BMRA today. This is not a super weak stock on the daily chart. Overall, we are kind of trending down, but if you go to a higher time frame, there's 7, 750, and then 8 to the upside. So it kind of feels like it wants to get going back to the upside here. For BMRA. Big volume came in there from 575 all the way up to about 650 on the buy side early on this morning. So don't be surprised we see 758 on the way up this morning for this BMRA, guys.
And I was actually long, got stopped out of that one, so put one in the loss column because I was sort of with you. It felt like it was pretty strong there. PROG. We're going to be looking at this name for sure. I kind of had a short that I wish I had held on to, but I got into it and it wasn't doing volume. I'm like, this is too early in the day, and then I got out of it there. And we're retesting this level. When it broke down from this 190 consolidation and then stalled at 175, didn't get to that 160, I kind of changed. I'm not saying I completely changed my mind on what I was viewing the stock to be, but The volume is starting to kick back up again as it broke back above this 185. So it consolidates lower, makes a break, and then immediately takes this on higher volume. So I'll let this one get into that 207 range. This one kind of feels like it might take out the high. I think there might be some support at 150 where it closed yesterday if it does head to the downside. I'd put it in the bucket for that hole. Like if it pops up to 2, can't take it out, can't take out the 07 high, then maybe you get a quick little short trade in there. But I'm just watching out for that one feeling a little bit strong. And then as we mentioned, as Brennan already mentioned there, that BMRA as well looking a little bit strong there. Someone asked about SoFi earlier in the morning, but probably the only comment I made was it's setting up for, I guess, like yesterday, if you look at this top here, about like a 1606. And I know it was traded higher in the pre-market. Sometimes you can throw those numbers out there on less volume. But I like this bottom that it has here in SoFi. And that's the only reason I'm looking at this setup. I have a break at that particular price. Now, I did try a break exactly at this price. You go back to 22nd, this trade does show up. It was a good breakout, but it's hard to see here in the 50-minute. It broke that 16. Stalled out in front of 1650, and then sort of whipped right back. Like sort of whipped right back down here, and then you had to jump back into this trade at 1580. So I remember getting stopped out of that long at the bottom, and then having to jump right back in when it wicked down and then held support. And I said to myself, you got to get right back into it. So I am prepared for the same thing to potentially happen here today, like a 16 break. You could scalp some out, it could take out the bottom, and then maybe hold this 1560 area. And then if that were to happen, I think it would be one of those like jailbreak type long scenarios that we had. And this is exactly what it was. With a break, quick win, snap back down, you re-enter, get stopped out. It's like, oh, got to get back into it because look, it held that support. And that's the same level that we're dealing with now in SoFi. So if it rinse and repeats the same thing, I'll look to rectify that by taking the break, taking my profit, and then not getting wicked out at the bottom. I'm going to be willing to be very, very patient around these pre-market lows, allow it to get to that 1560 and see if it holds.
All right, we're back into Palt again as it took out that 40 level. So let's see how this opens up with only 4 minutes to go. So you're going to see now, the trade was at 12. We took some out there at 12.25, and then now we're back long through 40. So we're going to watch to see how Palt opens up here. AMC, yeah, exactly. This is my account. It's obvious. At Trader TV, Nightbot keeps posting it, guys. Twitter.com, Trader TV, Sean just spelled the proper way. So look out for that. There's a bunch of fake accounts out there. We're not going to sell you guys anything, so don't get caught up in that. But you guys do as you wish. Make sure you double check our accounts. That's for sure. Okay, so that's that. Palantir, we did write this one down as well on our list today, and I wrote down here 24.50 here on a break for Palantir. I like that call, taking out sort of yesterday's high there in the afternoon. So if we can take that out, we like it. Going to be breaking back above the 50-period moving average there on that move. So we'll see right here. And this is, again, the 20-minute chart. So 24.50 is just kind of right here. So it's the bottom from a couple of days ago and then sort of the top yesterday. So Palantir can take that out, especially if we get a boom in the market right now, then we'll take that. But other than that, we'll watch out for some of these bottoms on Palantir. If we're lucky enough to get a 24 even, we'll take it and we'll watch to see what it does downside. But I'm a little bit nervous to average in or to even to really take some longs right now. I'd much rather wait for the market to open up and then see where we go, because I'm already in Palt, I'm in AMC, and I'm in NEO. So we've already got 3 longs. So right now we are hoping, where's my little, there it is, there's the bull. We're hoping that the bulls come out and party a little bit today, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. Everything's fine. The positions are fine, but we are waiting for that. And then I do have Clover, as I see some people talking about it as well. I like Clover for a long from these levels. I've been buying it up in my own account as well. 765 right here. I like that as a breaking spot on new announcements there for Medicare. It's nothing crazy. It's just some new programs. We don't have any of that here in Canada, so I can't speak to it. But right here, 965. I like that for a long break.
Yeah, and immediately you're going to see, just got some Coinbase on the dip there, and Moderna testing down that level. That 360 level already being put to the test right here in the pre-market, guys. Let's see if it can hold it up. Like I was anticipating, it could break this level, and that wouldn't be necessarily the death kill for that long trade. It could still retake it on the wipeout bottom. Worth noting, the last time it broke 360, went all the way to 350 on a wick and did recover to have a higher low of 56 the next day. So going to be watching Moderna heavily at the open. We got about 90 seconds to go here. Like I said, got that Coinbase. I like that price dip area, that 33 to 35, then see if it can hold that 30 for the day trade. That BMRA, which is what Brennan had just mentioned to you guys in the small cap space. This is the one I was long already, took a shot at it, stopped out. I still think it's kind of strong. but I didn't want to have this one until the open. It's got a top here of 665, and it's a strong daily chart. And there is this level right here at about 6.25 that it needs to break out. So that's why I'm backing away from this, because I think that 680 is a bigger level. If it does dip hard, I'm looking at like 570 to 580 to see if it has some support down here. I just didn't want to hold a 650 short all the way to 570, 580. That didn't make a heck of a lot of sense. Under a minute to go until we get the open here. We're trying to end off the week. Well, start the month, I should say, off in the right way, but also end the week in the right way. Not like the Blue Jays, who are completely crapping away the entire season, but that's okay. We're a trading show here today, and I'm not upset at the outcome of last night's game at all.
All right. 30 seconds to go. Now we're ready to rock and roll here. Yeah, ETH up almost 8% here. We'll see what BTC has to do. We are ready to rock and roll. Watching Pult off the open and watching Neo as well. So we're going to mainly watch Pult, and we'll see how it goes here as we're now nicely in the money. We're going to get some out at 60 or so if we can. But here we go, man. Only 15 seconds to go. Pult right now, a nice little runner for me, man. 20 cents in the money. We've already cashed out some. We're long at 12. It's actually 50 cents in the money from there. Let's go, Pult. Here we go. We have some offers at 59. We'll see if we can take it out with only 5 seconds to go.
3, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it, Ms. V. Gonna need the green.
Let's go, Pult. Get yourself open right now. Break yourself, Pult. To the upside right here. We'll see what we're going to do right now. But right now, excited about it. Pult trying to make some moves here. 1250s. It'll look like it's holding, but we got to go to the upside right now on Pult and see where we go from here. Neo makes a move to the downside. So we'll have to watch out to
It's
see.
trying to hold 3650 right now.
Yep, so Neo right now to the downside, 3680. We just took a bid right there at 3650. So we'll see where we go. It doesn't look like it wants to hold, but look at the market. The market is shooting up, so there is some potential here. Let's see if we can go back to the upside on NIO. We'll hold out on this one.
Yeah, someone asked the question, is it too late to short on AVIR? I don't think so. I think it's likely to give you an opportunity. By the way, this is a sympathy play from that Merck deal, from the Merck news. And I think if it gets anywhere close to that 47, 48, there might be another short trade in there. I just got my ATER in there, guys. So we talked about shorting that one on a pop. I just got filled for the first time at 1145 here. I'll take some more shares. It's 1180. Yesterday's level that I like for a bit of resistance here on ATER. Just got the rest of my shares. My stop is already in place. And then, of course, Moderna, there's no sign of a bottom here. It just, if it really wicked down to 350, I hope that's not a wipeout bottom that I missed getting that ATER short. You got to be kidding me.
Okay, AMC. Hells to the yes right now for AMC. A monster winner right now. This is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. This is why you watch the show. Big time mover up to the upside right now, $40. We talked about buying those bottoms on AMC. Now let's see where we go, baby. Bang, bang, bang to the upside. Neo doing the complete opposite. Neo tank city right now, but we don't care about that. We're going to watch AMC. We have double the shares here in AMC, so we're going to watch this go to the upside. $40 just got taken out. We are happy-go-lucky right now on AMC as it's running right here. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, and I'm all eyes on this Moderna, just because it's still trying to test to the downside. If 3050 is going to be that real bounce zone, the last time it wicked down here, you know that was support when it broke that 360 area, so that's a level of concern. I'm on the offer on that Coinbase to see if I can get some at the top end of that range, that 35, if we can get it. But all eyes are going to be for me on that Moderna as it tries to make a bit of a turn. ATER is doing kind of what we expected here, the pop into the top and then the quick little rollover. So again, this is just a setup that I absolutely love, and I take just about every single chance that I can get. Little 930 rollover here on ATER. I just got some of that Coinbase out. So the buy the dip here in that zone is going to make some sense. We talked about the 233 to 235 zone, and it's already put it in here once. If it tests the bottom again, I'd probably let it travel a little bit further before I took any shares out. As I say that, got some ATER shorts out at 1120. I'll put some out in front of here at 1110, and then see if it doesn't flush any further. That was a clear short to pop move, and Moderna, wow. Yeah, that one's still trying to find a bit of a bottom here. It's not reclaiming that 360 just yet, but it's certainly trying.
Okay, just looking around here, making sure Neo, okay, so we've averaged into Neo, but we still have a 36 bottom here coming through for Neo. So you got to be very, very careful. We didn't touch down there. Those are bad prints. But watching out for 36 and change for the low of the day here coming on NIO. We did empty out there. I mean, look what happened to AMC, man. I mean, wow. Out some there, and then when it started to break back down below, so we still are in it, but not super heavy. But yeah, AMC right now looking like it's making moves to the downside. We have to to find some downside protection here. Yesterday the move sort of started up and stopped at 37.50, so that might be a spot for concern for me down there, 37.50, if we get that low. Nicely bouncing back a little bit here, so all good on that front. But right now, NEO, we've averaged in on this one, so sometimes you got to do, put your money where your mouth is a little bit here on NEO. So we did that, man. Averaged in there. We should have had some lower, but we didn't. So we'll see if it can go back to the upside. That might have been a decent flush there on NEO. Good opportunity to get long, I think.
Yeah, I was trying to get some on the way. When it bounced off quarters, I tried to get some and missed out. I don't want to miss here on Prague because it did make a test to the upside, but it didn't quite get up to that $2 range. It got down to the 75 after it pulled back. So I think there might be a trade a little bit closer to that 90 mark if it can get to the upside here. When I say a bit of a trade, I do mean fading a little bit.
And there's the NASDAQ,
still holding that
man.
ATR, but yeah, there's that NASDAQ. It just went red.
Sorry about that, guys. I put the touch of death on it. There's nothing. I mean, I've been calling these futures like nuts these last little whiles. I should have just took a short there. But I mean, whatever. We'll see where it goes. NEO right now back to VWAP. We took a little bit out. We'll see if we can't get this one to rally a little bit to the upside now as NIO trying to go. Our PALT, good for us, man. We got. I mean, I told you we were waiting at 60 there, so we actually got those 60s. That's going to be the high of the day. 64. We got 59s, and it's just trying to bounce off 12 right here. So I mean, I wanted to hold this to the end, and I still have it there. So, if we break down through 11, we'll get out of PALT, and we'll try to average in a little bit in here if it comes back down. But for right now, it's a good trade out there, and we're pretty light on it, giving us the opportunity to average in if we need to. So let's see if it can hold this area, 1150 or so on PALT. We're not getting out till it breaks this bottom, guys.
Yeah, I just got some shares in Prague at 191 to the short side, and I'm watching BMRA, which is also looking like it's attempting to roll over. So not a lot of strength there in BMRA. If it takes out 6, you might see this flush down to that 570. Still has a chance to pop in and maybe give us that trade that we're looking for, that 930 sort of ish rollover. It is 935, so we are running out of time for that move to happen. But like I mentioned, I did get that first leg into PROG. Now it's starting to test up to that $2 range where we liked it a heck of a lot better to short that little bit of a pop. You're getting a bid on well, I don't want to jinx it. It was trying to get a bid in front of that 350 on Moderna. You can see it wiped down 349 bottom and then just held 350. So when I say you're getting a bid, that's because it just broke that level down, and now it's trying to take out that 351. So Moderna is still under pressure here. And Merck, by the way, yeah, Merck taking off. Come on. Merck taking off the top. I think there's some resistance at 85. It got to 84.40. I feel like that's kind of close enough. That it might have made a top there on the daily chart. 85 was a resistance level. So short in front of the current high is going to make some sense to me. Although I might have to take a second shot, even if it breaks an 84.50 high, because 85 was more that level. Brennan?
Another clean energy name, SunPower, guys. SPWR up in the pre-market here on decent news for them. Trying to hold 25 even, which is the top end of the daily range as well. SPWR on volume so far.
Nice eyelashes today, Miss V. Okay, AMC comes all the way back. We get out right there for a little bit. This is a winner, right? There's our first position. There's our second position. Comes all the way back up, test VWAP, and we get a little bit out there. So that was a good trade for us here. Let's wait to see if it happens. I told you they got to have faith in PALT. It's all the way back up now. So let's see if it takes out the top, and then we'll see if we get a bigger win here up to $13. Remember the high was $14.50, so you got to watch out for PALT here near $14.50. But so far, so good today, guys.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens with that Merck. Like I said, I'm getting in kind of off of that. I'm not really at that 85 level that we had in the daily chart, but I think it's pretty close, so we'll take the shot at it. But I don't want to stay too far away from Moderna, which just made a bit of a better bottom here. So it's trying to curl back up. It just held that 350. I'm using the word curl because I never used to say curl, and I see you guys use it in the chat. So it's getting a bit of a bottom. I set off that 350 level. It currently has a 49 low. As it just tested, I'm like, okay, can it hold it? What it needs to do there is break back above and then hold it. There is no bottom right now in Moderna, so I'll stick to the short in Merck. I'll stick to the ATR short, by the way, just to come back over to this one and show you. Whoops. Well, give me a break. There you go. NASDAQ stock, obviously. ATR has bounced a couple of times off of this 11 even area. I'm sitting just below it. That's a situation where you can't be quibbling about 5 cents or so. I'll park it inside the range. I do want to reload if I can in front of 1180. Right, like I think that's going to be the top. Not today's high, yesterday's high is the top. So I do want to reload if I get the opportunity there. NEO's the only thing that's not working right now. I mean, ATR is in the money, Merck's in the money, Coinbase is in the money, except for NEO, which is now testing that 36. That's the line in the sand. What can you do? Merck, like we anticipated, this was going to be a fade, and it looks like if it breaks this 83 and holds below, I can definitely target some out in front of that pre-market high, try to take quickly $1 out of this trade, and then hold on for dear life, right? If the market's going to turn red, I mean, you kind of feel like Merck, which had the good news, kind of went too far. 10% is a lot for a stock like Merck.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it's at those new levels right now. Look at this one again, guys. Yes, sir. AMC again. Sitting down here right into this. I mean, we just talked about this level. Sitting right into here, 38, 37.75, 38.75. We take that long, and then we're getting out now. So let's see if we can run to the backside. We're long 38.90 right now, so it's only 10 cents in the money. But again, we'll see if it can continue its move to the upside. Sorry, that's the wrong chart. This is the 20-minute chart that we're actually looking at right now. I'm just nervous about some of these bottoms. I'll still keep trying to pick it up and see if we can scalp, but it's not super strong. And I mean, we mentioned this one, so congratulations anybody that was short, because we did talk about this market falling down there, and there it goes, man. So all the same right now in this market, if you're long, great. Try to protect your neck a little bit, because the market is falling down here, and it's not looking too sweet. So we are averaged into NEO now. We did take another bit there at 14, so we'll see if we can get back to the upside. My average price on NEO right now, not great, guys. You could see it's 54s. So NEO right now, we're out of the money 30 cents. We'll see if we can do something about that. Palantir starting to crash as well. I knew this was going to be a down day, man. This sucks, because I should be short more things instead of trying to pick out bottoms, man. But that's what it is right now. Brennan or Valeria, what's up?
I just saw some volume come into WW, guys. The CEO stepping down, so got back to 19. They announced that this morning. This one's another one very, very weak on the downside, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that weakness in the market is starting to come through. I did get one bid. It actually surprised me that we got the breakout in SoFi, given what was going on in the market to start the day, but it does take out that 1606 high. Now, I am anticipating, like I thought on a dip buy, be patient, wait till 1560. That's something we did mention, but I'm looking to rinse and repeat what was about the same trade. Now my trades aren't showing up from back here, but it went 16 breakout and then up into this cluster at 1650. So SoFi can do that. I want to take some out in front of the quarters. I want to take the rest out in front of that 50 level, looking to get flat in front of 1650. And if 1650 wants to go, I think that can be a separate trade, and then I'd look for a dip buy as well. Merck's going to be the one that I kind of thought today that it was going to be Moderna for me, but the setup didn't happen, right? Like the level I was looking to hold didn't. On Merck, the resistance that I was looking to hold did. So this one actually sets up for the trade and is starting to come back in. I'm definitely going to take some more shares out if I can in front of this 82 range. Like I said, I want to see if I can't target some for $1. This is counter trend. I know the market's coming back in here, but Merck is one of the strongest names and on positive news here today. I just think it's too much. If it doesn't break this high, and we hold below VWAP, I think I want to be in this one at least till $80, guys. So I'm kind of targeting a bigger winner here on the last of these shares. Obviously, 80 is going to stand out. All pre-market long, it's been support. So if that were to hold, I would not be remotely surprised, and that's where I put my target in. As far as NEO goes, my line in the sand is going to be slightly below that 36. If it can't hold 36, I don't want to dig in too deep to that name. And Coinbase, definitely look to gift horse in the mouth with Coinbase. We did take some out. We did take some out in front of that 35 to bank the first dip buy. And now we're already looking for a potential reload as it's retesting that low. So I'm looking to see if it'll bounce and consolidate higher. If it does, then I would add to the trade. With the market sliding back in here, I don't feel any need to get too far ahead of myself in buying more dips. It's the shorts that are working out much better than the longs at this point, as you can imagine.
Yeah, like we called it, guys. And I mean, honestly, like I sold Microsoft 296, right? Feeling kind of bad about that. Not anymore, 282. How about the Apple sell that we made at 152, 140 right now? DraftKings, we sold that at $62, right? Right now, DraftKings 48, so we're 49. We're looking for a bounce back in some of these names, man. I want to start buying some of these names as they, as the market dictates. So we'll see about that. Palantir here, we're almost out of it. We're gonna get out very, very soon. Palantir, we took the first shot there at 24. 24.10, then we took another one at 98. It does go all the way back up, so obviously that plus that, our average price was in here, so you're going to see a positive trade right now on Palantir, but it's not going to be positive for long, because if we continue to break down, I just feel horrible, because when the market was up, that 0.5, I was like, okay, that's not that much. Remember, we started the show talking about rally time, but look at this, 23.90 rate down there. So we're right at a spot right now for Palantir. I mean, we bounced off there yesterday. We bounced off here yesterday. So let's see if it can hold. I mean, if the market does get back going here, that might be a decent flush. I mean, there may be a good opportunity now to start picking up some longs, and that's what we are. We're 3 longs. We're long AMC right now, but we did empty out some of the AMC. So I mean, I am letting this drop now. We do have some target areas of 37.50. So maybe time to average into that one, but that's a dangerous trade. So we're gonna be very, very careful with that. NEO as well, we've averaged in at the bottom of that. Let's let this one ride to the upside here. There's news on it today. We talked about that earlier with Michael Noss from Trade Ideas, and then I know it was one of your stocks as well today, Neil. So we'll watch out for that one. I think we're both in that. Yeah. And then that's about it, man. And Palt, this is per plan. So right now, Palt, we're in it, and then we're gonna wait for this to break through 11. So we just took another bid there on PALT. Let's just see if you can get back on this one. We're actually still flat on Palt because of these profits. Profit taking there, and now we'll try it one more time and see if we go to the upside. But really, it's just my day's going to rely right now on AMC and NEO, and we'll just have some fun with Palantir and Palt.
Yeah, I was just checking back in on just one. Obviously, I didn't trade yesterday. I'm sure you guys were all over Virgin Galactic, but that just rolled over about 70 cents, falling down with the market, of course, and back below that 25. So until they actually have that launch in October, I'm not sure there's going to be too many more catalysts with this name, but that's a key 25 it's trying to hold out and break here. So all of a sudden it's on my radar. I wasn't really looking at this thinking, okay, it's solidly above. If it catches an offer below 25, you might see me pop into a short, but I got a few positions on here already, and you guys are going straight over to Brendan. What do you got now?
And this AVIR just can't get out of its own way. Jets, guys, saw a couple of airlines in positive territory in the pre-market. Some upgrades today. The ETF here, Jets, going through day highs as we speak.
Yeah, the AVIR is absolutely crushing.
Yeah. Brendan crushed AVIR.
I'm literally saying to myself, it's like, why even short the stock? And I thought Merck was up too much, but you can short the name that was up on sympathy.
Look at the market.
Or instead, by the way, guys, Zoom's starting to come back in here. It's down like $8 or so. This is starting to get pretty close on Zoom here, and it held at 275. So 275 break's going to be intact whenever it happens. But Zoom's getting pretty close to the deeper end of the range. And the only things I liked about the stock was either buying in front of that like 55 to 60 support, or if it can break out at 75. Clearly that didn't happen. If it gets anywhere closer, we're now maybe testing that 65. If it gets pretty ugly, I think we have a chance to get down to those 260s where it could be a bit of a buy on Zoom. SoFi is trying its absolute best. The market's not helping. It's gone in the money like a few cents here. It's trying this breakout, but you're seeing it immediately slow down. I might just start thinking about taking at least some out here, only for about a 10-cent gain, because I don't want to give up this breakout and bank absolutely nothing on it. The market is not really helping this move whatsoever, but SoFi is trying on the session.
Yeah, I think lots of things trying right now. Palantir's trying as well. We took another 06 out there. Sorry, first time 07, next time 06. And we'll see if Palantir can battle back. But the market right now, you might have just saw the flush down there. So down, nice little flush there on the name. So we have to watch out to see about this bottom here, 14,580. I hope that doesn't come in. We're still on all these longs, man. We averaged in, and there it is right there. Nice, this just happened, man. 37.78 on the downside there for AMC. So let's see where we go. We talked about protecting that 37.50. So, hey, man, we're in this. We're in Neo longs right now. Neo longs aren't bad. Whoa, we almost got into the money there. Neo, 35. We're at 36.45 right now. So we actually got pretty much back to flat there on Neo. So let's wait to see if it can still rally. I like it. Our Pult trade's really not doing too much. So let's look at something else. What about AMD, a name that we all like? Tanking, oh man, like wow. Can't believe we called this today and I don't really have anything on. 101.2 here. Oh, that's frustrating because today we should have had these shorts, man. We were calling that in the pre-market that this market was not true. And yeah, all the way to the downside here. There's still more flushes coming. We called S&P 4100. Hold me to it, please. And then we'll see here, $100 coming through on AMD. Probably a good little spot there. But again, with this market tanking, man, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm just holding out for dear life right now. It's not that bad. I mean, our AMC trade is actually really nice right now. We're long at 38.45, a nice battle back here. We'll take a piece out if we can get out around here, 38.50, and just enjoy this move to the backside here. And then we'll let the rest ride, man. This is going to be a good trade for us. We're pretty loaded up on this name, of course, now. So let's see where we go from here. here, and then Palantir's battling back. So, hey, man, maybe we have something. Let's go, AMC.
Yeah, just barely missed the move here on just to add more shares of Coinbase. But while that happened, the stock that is trying and looks relatively strong, at least compared to what the market is doing, is SoFi. On a bit of a volume spike here, it just took out the recent high at 16.15. I'm going to get some more shares out in front of those quarters, and then everything in front of 16.50. But both Coinbase and SoFi working. NEO, if it gets back to the 50s, I might trim some of that because it does not look as strong as I anticipated. Holding around that $2 mark on Merck in the money, and ATR looking fantastic as well. Miss V has a name for us.
Hey Neil, United Airlines is up more than 5% today, and in general, travel stocks are trading higher. Do you see any opportunities for yourself, guys, in UAL?
As I call United up right here, I'm just going to make the assumption that the break probably already happened on CCL there, which I think we were mentioning before. Come on. Try loading up here. There we go. Above that 50 level on United Airlines, I've probably said before, I'm not a huge airline fan, but you're at not huge resistance. You're at the resistance from earlier on in the week at this 50-50 level. So the first thing I would see is like, yeah, there is an opportunity, but I probably would have just missed it. And because the last time you broke 50, you had a wick top and then flushed. When you get a parabolic move into it, you're looking for about the same thing. But that trade is in the 50 quarter range. It's not at 49.90 where you're risking 50 or 60 cents. You don't risk 50 or 60 cents on the UAL trade, in my estimation. Usually it's not going to move that much, but yeah, that probably was a little bit of something. Always zoom out, guys. When in doubt, zoom out. You see a parabolic move like that breaks through these levels, go right back and look at where it turned. That's 50-50 on a dime, and it should stand out like a sore thumb, especially in a weak market, guys, especially in a weak market. And there goes Coinbase, now another like $2 in the money. There are a few longs that are working. SoFi now 16.30.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of longs working right now. Look at Palantir, man. That's what we're talking about right now. As it's going back to the upside, a good trade here for me. 20 cents in the money on a decent amount of shares here for Palantir, and averaged in there. And we talked about where we were going to get out if it did break through. So that's a good trade for us right there, 23.80. So well worth it now to start taking some out here on our friend Palantir because it's rocking and rolling right now, up to 24.20. Nice bounce off the bottoms there for the NASDAQ as well. So a good trade for us. And yeah, thank you for bringing that up there on the chat there, Palantir. So a good one for sure. We didn't capitalize too much up there. We just took some out at 18. We'll see if we can get back into this pre-market area like we did yesterday on Palantir. I don't know if my trades are showing up yesterday, but we did they're not. We did the very same thing yesterday, protecting some of these bottoms and then getting out near the pre-market highs as well. So we'll get out a few more shares here as Palantir looking to rip. Our Palt, man, what a good buy that was on Palt. Nicely done here into the pre-market teeth again. We pick up some Palt, and now it's trying to go to the upside. So that's going to be a good win for us. So basically, let's just massage these trades, man. There's some nice size there. It's going to get taken out on Palantir. The market wants to rip. We've got it, man. I'm really happy with the way this is happening, man. Ride. Yeah, ride. What a nightmare that is. Down big time as well. Let's go, Palt. Palt's starting to get going now. Bang, Palt. Yes, sir. There it is. Congratulations, anybody on you, Palt. Let's go to the upside and see if we take out $13. There it is. Where's my fill? Boom on Palt. There we go. Do we have the trade of the day again on Palt? Can we do it 2 times in a row? There it goes, Palt. Let's see if it halts with Palt to the upside. Big time trading over here. And then Palantir too. Let's just get some out. But that was fun on Palt.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually looking to fade that one, but I was busy looking at ATR. This is going to be exactly the plan as we try to do usually here, guys. It's going to be off that double top. We got the 1150s right into yesterday's low. So I just took it out for a $1 winner. And again, it's just going to be playing off these levels here. But the second I saw Palt move, I started thinking halt. Palt, halt, halt, Palt. There's obvious levels that are going to be here. A lower high would be around that 13.50 to 14, but you have yesterday's top at a 14 quarter, and then of course the big jailbreak top at 15 even. It hasn't halted yet. I was kind of curious as to why there was no halt on that move. It looks like it just resisted the halt band at 13.25 up there. So maybe it doesn't get to that 13.50, but those levels could come into play here. If they do, it's likely it's already halted at that particular time. And then there goes SoFi. It actually just bounced it back down. I might have to take out this Coinbase trade. This market is too weak to sit around and start thinking that $1.50, $2 isn't good enough.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so right now we have CEI. So we did take a little bit of it right here at 312 or so, trying to come into that $3. It's already way down. $3 is just a key level here. We'll see if it can hold out. If it does, great. If it doesn't, bad. So we'll wait to see if it does hold out. It's not a huge position. It is falling down pretty good here. So, if it breaks down below, a little bit lower than $3, we'll have to get out of this one as, yeah, it looks like it wants to go downside here on this name. So CEI right now in big time trouble. moving to the downside right here. So we'll wait to see, does it resist it off that level? I don't know, but CEI right now trying to make moves big time to the downside. Well, what's going on?
No, I hadn't seen CEI until just now. That was the wow. I was a little bit surprised that it's still that weak after yesterday. I definitely bungled this SoFi trade. I'm not happy with myself. I had an offer at 41s. It turned at 40. I did not get shares out at 35. So you'll see it sort of come all the way back here. I'm going to get my offer in the 30 range, make sure we can actually bank this profit that we have in the SoFi breakout. And you guys are going to Brendo. What's up, bud?
A few other biotechs just popping up here, guys, that AVIR are trying to bounce. SONN just popping up. There's also another one I just saw as well. But check out Sonnet Biotech in that same kind of group. So all these little ones starting to go here on volume, 6% for this one.
Wow, I mean, I still can't believe this. We had a similar trade to this on Palt yesterday, man, and now we're $1.50, $1.70, $1.80 now in the money on PALT and still trying to rip faces off, man. This was a great call. Happy that we have this one today. Can't believe we started to go like that. I mean, we can never expect to get that kind of a spike up like that. But hey, man, when you're trading the right names, and again, thank you guys for joining us. I mean, that's what it's all about. Trade the right names, trade with us, and hopefully you'll be fine on most of these plays there. So there it is. We're light on Palt now, right? In here, out, in here, out, in here, out, out again. So, and now we're just holding out for that one little last level to see if it can break out and then maybe halt through. We had yesterday's numbers 14.20 or so. So, you know, if we get up there, then that's pretty good. Waiting for it to halt so I can make a decision. CEI does bounce there off 3, almost exactly 302. I don't know if it's going to get going though off this level because it should have gone there. I feel like it should have bounced and then ripped back at least to this area. 20s, something like that. If we can get a 20 print on that, we will do that. We held out on AMC. Good holdout, man, for AMC for me. Now making moves back to the upside. Look, we still got that average in. It did dip all the way back down. I think it's worthy of taking something out here if we can get it at 42, which we just missed. We just put an offer at 42 and missed it. So we'll see if that can come through now. Palt heading back to the downside. We've already cleaned up on that name. So if it goes back down, that's fine. Come on, give me that 42. We're sitting here at 42. Missed it again on AMC. Why do we want this name? It's not that big of a win. It's just, it's been hovering around here. Maybe 50 is a better out. I mean, if we can get back up to view up, I'm sure I have an order there. Yeah, I do, 38.80. So I do have an order up here. So let's just see if AMC can push a little bit, but I'm not happy right now. The NASDAQ still fading out, man. So that's why we took out some of our Palantirs for nice wins there. We're almost out of Palantir, just kept bouncing off these levels. So you got to get it out. You got to take profits, guys, or else you know you're not doing much.
Yeah, I'm close to taking out that Neo trade. Looks like it's not going to be working. But CEI, people are asking, seeing FAMI dumping. Well, I mean, CEI, FAMI, some of those names all moved lock and step before, and that dump is going to be in some of these across the board. So I'm out of Neo. I'll do this for NIO. Just to back to the one, I'm only holding one short left, and I'll probably check back in on ATR later on and say to myself, I got out of that one too early. But Merck is finding a base in front of that 80 level. I've canceled my bid that was in front of 80 because if it's going to break this level, it could fall down to like a 78 to 79 area. This could go even further, especially with the market, both the ES and the NASDAQ now turning red. It kind of makes me want to hold on to the short. I feel like I almost got out too much too soon, but I got 83 half short. Stop will be at the high of the day. I definitely like that trade. And then SoFi is the other one. Like, it's just, I did take out all of Coinbase, by the way, because in this market, what am I even doing thinking this move is going to extend? And I thought maybe a little bit too positively maybe on SoFi there. The breakout trade, I could have gotten it all out and be hunting for the next trade. I'm going to go break even or close to it with a 16 stop on the last of this SoFi trade. Not wanting this trade to turn into a loser. I am in the offer in front of the high of the day if it catches a bit of a bid. And speaking of catching a bid, I mean, if CEI catches a bid in front of $3 and there is some size, just as a pure scalp trade, as a day trader, the idea of going long 1s and 2s, even into like 5 to 10, is going to make sense to me. But I'm just, like, it's currently very weak is the best way to put it. And size can be a bit deceiving on a stock like this, which is going to do hundreds of millions of shares. So even if you see like a few 100,000, that's not a lot. 400,000 on the bid of CEI is actually nothing. Like, I'd be wanting to see like 1 million, 2 million shares on that bid for me to jump in front of it. So CEI, not quite showing the strength I'd need to jump into that one.
Yeah, we're in CI now. We'll just see where it goes. Neo just took us out there, but we're going to give it a little bit more room here as we buy it back on Neo. So we'll see we'll see where it goes. But we did buy it back right there. Just I feel like maybe the futures now are near some of these levels. So we'll see if it does want to bounce here. It's not good, man. The S&P, by the way, just also, guys, turning red here. This is the S&P down 0.02 right now. So yeah, the market not very healthy. Needless to say, remember we called 4,100. So yeah, we've already trimmed off a little bit of that. So we'll see if we have more upside moves in this. I hope we do in this market for sure for right now. Anyways, Neo, let's see about where do we want to get out of this in case we're wrong again on this name. So let's see. Yeah, 35. I mean, this is where we just got out right now, 35.80. So that level was a breaking spot there for me. I mean, I don't think those wicks even happen. I mean, those wicks definitely didn't happen today, so not worried about it. Maybe just 35.50. Like, just try to see if we can last. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about it. So we're going to try in case it wants to go. Right now, I'm just really concerned. I'm not concerned, but I'm watching this halt as it's starting to go. I wish there was more things halting or more things doing something. People yelling at us for Prog right now, up to $2. CEI, nice trade. Hopefully that can last as well. Not much happening with PROG, man. I mean, I know it's 100 million shares. Wow. 75 million shares. It'll get to 100 soon. Some nice bottoms here, 195 for sure. Don't know much about this, and I apologize if Brendan brought us this, but I don't know much about Prog right now, so we can find out about it. But look at CEI, guys, right back, man. We talked about defending that $3. We got in a little bit early at 12s. We should have averaged in. We didn't. The way it was crashing down, I don't average in on that kind of a trade, but right now we got a nice little winner. So far, so good. I will throw up the diamonds because we held on to it miraculously, and then we'll just see where we go from here. But CEI has a little bit of room to run now, up to 15s, but the market's very, very weak. I don't know if this one will run or not, but we have it, so let's see.
Yeah, and my eyeballs are just looking at this Moderna, and it's like, once it broke that level of support, I mean, I don't know why I didn't think to reverse to the short side. It's breaking 340, but I wanted to, first, BMRA has been in a downward trend since the open. I'm looking to short these pops and see if we can't get this one to roll over even further. Now, 640 area, this is that pre-market high. I wouldn't get anything past that. If it breaks that level, I'd hunt back towards that high of the day. But Moderna is just absolutely getting woodshedded. So I'm hanging on to Merck short. And the whole while I've been like plotting where the move is in Moderna after it broke this 350. It's like, I hate to say it, but like 320, 325, like that's probably the real level where you'd feel like there's going to be some support. Although if you do look, this cluster here from 350 all the way down to 325, like there was some chop before in consolidation before it broke out there. So I anticipate maybe it has a bit of juice in front of that level, but you're falling like a rock on Moderna. And when I see something moving parabolically up or down, I don't care. I'm looking to usually go the other way. So mRNA, if it gets close to that 30 mark, then we're going to try to dip into it, guys.
Yes, sir. Gronk spike. What up, Gronk? Nice little spike to the downside as CEI. Yes, sir. We talked about that one. It's on. I mean, here, let's just show our sticky note here on the main show here for everybody. And please hit the like button if you can. Look what we wrote down here for CEI. Short into 440, that never happened, right? Long near 3 if we get down there. And that's exactly what we did there. We're also looking for longs on AMC. So far, that's my number one stock, AMC. And I'm going to show that in a minute as well. But there we go, man. Long into $3. Cash money right there. Check out AMC, starting to rip up again. We have that offer at 80 right now. 55 cents in the money on AMC. A big trade for me here. AMC. A big trade on Palt also happening. Waiting for it. I was hoping it was halting. Doesn't look like it's going to halt. So we still have that out down here, which still puts us into the money. But let's go AMC. We're trying to watch you to see where we're going. We talked about having that long into 80. We're right here right now. Did we just get the 80s? No, we did not. Oh my God, our offer is at 80 and it missed us there. It went to 79. So let's just take an offer now at 71 if we can get it. There it is. Oh, and then it rips right to 80. But bang, regardless. Oh my God, as it's still starting to go up. AMC, man, we're holding this one now as this is starting to move and run for us. So great trading here today on AMC. Nice bottom picks, out. Now you're starting to run up to the upside here, man. 39.40. Wow, $1.30 now. $1.30 in the money for AMC. So we'll go, yeah, for that one. Might want to take another piece out here and let the rest ride. But a nice win here for AMC. What a good day, man. Paul to AMC, everything. Now Palantir's starting to go. CEI starting to go as well. Man, big day over here, and it's a big day for Brendan as he is wearing his salmon shirt. I almost wore it today, Brendan.
That would have been interesting. 10 o'clock, guys. ISM Manufacturing Index out higher than expected. We also had consumer sentiment number out there higher than expected as well. So a bit of a bounce for the overall market here. 61.1 versus 59.5 for that manufacturing number. So the S&P went all the way back to zero, and now we're starting to bounce a little bit here to the upside. The Dow leading 0.6, NASDAQ still red, but 0.2, both the composite and the 100. The Russell positive as well. Here in Toronto, we are just into the red as well, 0.08 for the TSX. Couple of things we were talking about in the pre-market, guys. Zoom tried off the open there, but wow, what a tank job that was. Back to 262 on volume as well. The selling came in hard on Zoom. Same story on this one, NIO. Yeah, deliveries clearly don't matter. 37 all the way down to 35.5 there for NEO. Trying to hold on to some levels from yesterday, though, for NIO, guys. Back over to you.
And remember that downward channel that we talked about there in BMRA? It does continue. It just made a fresh low since the open at 580. I got this one at 620s here. If it breaks 570, watch for the floodgates to potentially open up on BMRA. The 15-minute chart is going to tell you a little bit more of the story as to where support might end up being. And I'm thinking it could be down at that 540 range. So if we do break 570, decent chance to get another 30-penny move. I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to get more than $1 in this trade. I think more like 50 to 60 cents should be your return, looking for the absolute move here, maybe 10%. Something along those lines. But if 570 goes, watch out. If you're holding along, hey man, this is a 30% gap up, and you can still, this was a 450 stock at the close yesterday, so take your profit. I thought this would be strong. We started out with the long trade, put on the reversal when it had that downward channel, and now you're seeing it. If 570 goes, it could be over for this one.
Thank you so much to everybody there about CEI and about AMC. And I love it when people are like, stop talking about AMC, your position's not working. Okay, $39, $2 and $2 winner now on AMC. So there you go. So nice move upside on AMC. We talked about that long all day, and there you go, man. The only problem with me was getting out too early, which again, as a day trader, it's just in my blood. I have to do that. So there it is, man. A nice move upside. $2 right there, calling AMC the whole time, not dumping it, not doing anything with it. There it goes right up to the upside. So hey, man, I'm pretty happy about the way we're trading right now today, for sure. ONDS for you, Dominic. ONDS. Okay. If it's low volume, then I won't really look at it. Thank you so much, Jude, as well, man. $10 super chat. Look, man, I hope we're putting a lot of money in people's pockets here. Yesterday was a killer day for me. Bed Bath & Beyond was a monster. AMC was a monster. And oops, like Britney Spears said. And the wife's like, oh, is she watching some new Britney Spears documentary? I say hard pass. But oops, we did it again on that one. So there it goes to the upside now. It goes AMC, a big time win for me there. And then CEI, I mean, monster win for me, to say the least, on this one. It's a $3 name, so obviously you could take lots of shares. We're cooking with gas today, man. I mean, the only stock we've stumbled on was NEO. Everything else very, very positive for me today. So I hope it's the same for you. As you know, we're just waiting to see if Pult wants to make another move up. We're still in the money, $1.35 on Pult. So if that can go back upside, we're just holding out in case we do get that moonshot. But right now, all's good on the front over here.
Yeah, all good over here. Just maybe holding on to Merck a little bit too long, but as I see Moderna not even find a bit of a bid here, I'm just saying to myself, like, give me a break. Like, this is now 335. If we break the downside on Merck, I want to have this piece of it if it breaks at 32. But I was just sort of throwing out there saying 320 was sort of the next obvious level, and there's absolutely no way that we're going to see that today. And then I mean, it's just unbelievable. Merck is getting absolutely woodshedded down. Sorry, Moderna's down 13% now. And if we get anywhere close, I'm looking 320. It might be 25 that we have to start buying a long trade in. That BMRA where we said, if it breaks 570, then it's definitely going to be that big level, and it's going to be a likely flush. For now, there is a bit of bid in front of it. It tried to bounce. It got 10 cents and then started flushing again. So if this level gets taken out, I'm not adding at this point. That's way too far away from VWAP for me to like the breakdown trade. I'll just hang on to what I have. Actually, you can see my bid is sitting around 550. So I want to be holding on to this one, but I cannot keep my eyes off Moderna. And apologies, a lot of times if we're trading NEO, and NEO stunk for me today, it means that there's an opportunity in Tesla, and there absolutely is one. Remember that previous resistance area, that 760 to 765 on the daily? Well, when the market comes back in, Tesla about to test that now. It just bounced once off 765. Heads back down there again. I might try a bottom pick. And again, this is at that theory that sometimes resistance turns into support and vice versa. Certainly that's been the case so far in Tesla, bouncing off that 765 level. If it can hold above, it might have some chill and might bounce back up. The market's not horrible, down 0.04, and the ES just went green. It just seems ridiculous because I'm staring at a Moderna chart, which is, it's got no bid. There's no other way to say it. It's got no bid in Moderna right now. It's pretty ugly.
Yeah, what was the story with that Moderna, by the way? Anyways, I mean, I know that Merck came out today with that, and I guess that they're feeling some flows from that. So, yeah, not great there for Moderna shareholders. But I want to. That's a name that obviously we've talked about it a couple times. Like, I want to get into that name. So this is a good opportunity to do that. They're doing much more than just the COVID vaccine, right? So, yeah. Anyways, more to go on Moderna. I want to get into it. So hopefully we can at some point step into that name. That's for sure. mRNA. But okay. Just looking around here, what we're trying to do here on the day, a few interesting things happening. CEI does pull right back in, so that's a little bit of a cause for concern there on that move back. You know, we got out of 60% of it, so it's not a huge position anymore for me, but needless to say, any position is a position we want to win, so we'll have to wait to see where it goes. But right now, not a great one for me well, it's still good, we're in the money, but we should have got out more up there, darn it. It came very, very close. This is one of those ones that we're going to see if it can go for us, right? And that's that, so we've already decided what we're doing there. So, okay, AMC did fall back in, that's fine, we did clean this out. We have a not a very small position, well, we do have a small position, but you can see out. That's just how I trade. No apologies for anything on that. And then after that, what else do we have going on here? Buy. Okay, AMC CEI is still there. NEO, yeah, this one's starting to fall back a little bit here. We did take that bigger position right there at 96. We got it out for a dime there at 06, but now it's fading back in. If the market rallies, I like NEO's chances here. It's not looking great. So that's the one thing that I'm a little bit nervous about here as we trade through on NEO.
Yeah, I've got my first trade in Palt, and this is more, I should look at the 15 here. This is more off of this, like, you know, little descending, whatever you want to call it here, lower highs being put in. It has stalled so far at 1350, so if it wants to put in a lower high, I'm going to take these around the quarter. I actually ended up getting 20s on that wick to the upside. As it tested 25, came back in. I took 20s on the way down. If it rolls over through 13, I want to get some out in front of VWAP. Now remember, this is a counter trend on a strong stock, so I want to be covering in front of that breakout price. I want to be covering in front of VWAP here to make sure the risk to reward works. And my goodness, I'm getting pretty close. This is now a 330 break on Moderna. So we're getting to that 320, 325 mark. And there's an iceberg that was just trying to hold at 330. Like, someone just stood in front of the bid on Moderna at 330 and tried to hold it up and just got taken out. So maybe this is the wipeout bottom. This is one I do not want to miss if there is a wipeout low here on Moderna. 325. I'm starting along regardless of that price. Was that Brendan?
Another big mover from the past couple of days, guys. Farmini, the mushroom grower, just popped up here on volume as well. Took out day lows there, trying to hold, but still, yeah, down significantly. This thing has doubled in the past week or so.
Yeah, okay, Pulse is halting. I was staring at Moderna when that.
Oh no, were you long or short?
I'm short.
Right, okay.
But I was staring at. Oh my goodness, it's gonna halt.
There it is.
I could have taken it.
That's okay. There goes Paul.
I'm gonna hold it.
Paul right to the downside. So good move there. We're light on it. That's why I noticed. I was like, hey, by the way, Palta is starting to tank right there. So a good move there on Palta as it does tank downside. We didn't do anything about it. I'm not buying that halt, so I mean it's right back to where we were. You know, that was good because we got out. So I told you we're holding out for that crazy move there. So we'll see what's going on right there. Yeah, the market's not great today. We talked about that, man, over and over again. That I wasn't really a big fan of what was about to happen today, and so you know, we'll wait to see. Hopefully we're wrong, and the market does bounce from here. You know, NEO right now looking at that 3540 area, possibly has an area to get out. It's been disappointing, needless to say, today. NEO started the day up 3 or 4%, and then all of a sudden, man, it didn't do much, and it's given back everything. Talk about, you know, what we thought was going to be strong. Then we had Michael Noss from Trade Ideas even talked about it as well. So there were a lot of eyeballs on this, and it just looks like it's not doing anything. So for right now, NEO to the upside, not really happening. So into here, man, 34.50, 35.50, 35, maybe this is the level here, actually. 35.30 is the level of concern. So I'll average in one more time here to Neo. It hasn't been a crazy averaging in for me because we've been getting out here, so out. But right now we are stuck with this position right now, long 01. So we'll have to wait to see. I think it's worth averaging in one more time if we get near that 50, but then we got to get out of it if it gets near 30. So that's going to be a spot for me for sure.
So I tried to be so ridiculously patient with Moderna. I'm not even sure I was patient enough. It took out that 330 level, came down, it actually made a bottom at like 328.5. I then got long when it retook the level to the upside, so I've got 330.50 long, knowing that I don't think I'm wrong till 328. So that probably means you can understand that I'm not going to be covering anything until we get to that 35 mark. We'll see what happens. It's a volatility halt on Pulse. And I guess I've been waiting to say that one all morning long. I remember saying I was going to get out of it in front of VWAP because it was counter trend. There wasn't even a chance, right? Like it chewed through it while I was staring at my Moderna chart, looking for that long trade, which by the way, that's at 333. Come on, let's go Moderna. If this is the bottom of Moderna, this could be good. Look, I'm in this halt regardless, right? So when it opens back up, Pulse, if it holds 11, I'll probably just cover it. If it threatens 12 even, I'll cover it in that regard as well. Like I said with Moderna, maybe this is the bottom. We'll see. It looks like a wipeout bottom. I'll definitely cover some in this 335 range if I can get. Why am I quibbling over pennies? If I can get it close enough to that 335, we will. There might be a chance at a reload down here in Moderna, but this is at some point the stock just falls too far. This entire time while I was staring at Moderna fall like an absolute rock, this is what Merck was doing. Bouncing off that 81, and we're sitting in the money at 83.50. Yeah, I might want to take the rest of this out if it gets back down to 81 on Merck, because clearly this doesn't want to go. It was a nice trade. I thought it could break 80s, and then get to 77, 78. Clearly more strength than I was anticipating in in Merck, given the news. 10% is a lot on Merck. The fact that it's holding up this nicely is pretty impressive. I don't want to look that gift horse in the mouth.
Yep. Neil's never liking to look at Force's mouth, and yeah, let's not do that, man. It's a good win there for Moderna. We also have a very similar spot here for us on Pfizer. It made that move down to 41.70 there. I mean, I like this on the daily chart again. Something that, talk about wanting to buy something. I mean, Pfizer's down to $41. Like, you get this thing back to 39. That's almost a buy right there, almost an instant buy. So we'll wait to see where that's going on a name that we like. So that's going to be Moderna. AMC still trying to catch a bid as well. And then our Neo bouncing a little bit here on the market. So that's good. Hopefully that can get back into the money. And let's look at something else now. Pult. Yeah, Pult is halted. So we already know about that one. We're waiting for that. I like Microsoft. Someone mentioned there Microsoft is holding out pretty nicely, and it is today, actually. 284.50. There's the daily range. It bounced off 280 today. Wow. Did we really get that low on Softy? Yes, we did. Wow. 280 and change. 281, I guess, is the really low. And now you're kind of battling near the top side here. So I don't mind Microsoft here, especially if we do take out this 285, which is right here. So we'll see if Microsoft can go here. I mean, it's tanking now, back down in, but 285, not a horrible spot there for anybody watching Softy. Okay, Pfizer's now 4 or 5 cents in the money, and again, you know, we're waiting for that to go up. So if it can go, that's great. We did buy some Pfizer down here at 0607, just touched VWAP. So let's get out of a little bit there, and then we'll watch everything else. But things are starting to fall back down again.
Yeah, and just, I mean, along those lines, it's like, you know, with all the other vaccine names moving down, it's like, look for your opportunities if you're trying to get into things like Pfizer and J&J. I was just noting some relative strength in Facebook. It's up 0.5%. I don't necessarily see a trade in Facebook right now outside of, and I don't love it, but look at this break. If it takes out 340.75 here, maybe even 340.50, and this market continues to roll over, it's going to stand out a bit like a sore thumb. Now, I still like the fact that it's putting in relative strength. I want to get that one out of the way, but at the same time, I can't ignore. Oh, did I miss? Yeah, I missed it. Yapping away, didn't get it. There we go. I just got the trade there on Facebook. And again, it was relative strength, and it is still up on the session, but this is that little shelf that it had put in here on Facebook. So I'll give it to the top end of the range, 342.5. Give it a couple of bucks, but the market looking relatively weak.
Yeah.
What goes up must come down, apparently. I'm not even sure I should be using that phrase when even talking about Moderna here. But I got that fill on mRNA. So Moderna comes up, it gives that pop into that 334, 335. I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll get some out, look for that reload. Maybe it's made a bit of a bottom. And then it's out of the money like a minute later. Yeah. So, I mean, Moderna's, like the bid on Moderna, like I said, it's not exactly the greatest one, but it is holding that double bottom. Pult just reopened. For those of you that, if you're trapped in it, it reopened a higher. It's trying to take out this 12 level. Now, if it can hold 12, I'm thinking about probably getting more short in this thing as opposed to covering it. So I want to see what happens this price level. Even if it breaks 12 and we're deep in the money, I want to make sure it's actually trading a bit above there. And if it can't hold above at all, I think it's going to be a reload on the short and maybe scalp it down to 1150. But Pult looking like it wants to come back into the upside here. Could have taken it all out in the reopen, but sometimes you just sort of, if you got the good fortune of being in the position, it was a bit of a fluke that I was in the short position, liking that resistance, and then it went twice as far as I anticipated when the rug got pulled.
Yep. What's up, Brenda?
A lot of COVID-19 related negativity today when it comes to treatments because of the Merck news. Here's another one. VIR down 23%. They also have a COVID-19 treatment. So Merck comes out with theirs, and all of these stocks, guys, getting hit pretty hard today. DVax, Novavax, they're all down significantly.
Oh, I never even got it. I was just saying if we didn't hold, I was going to try and get some more short on Pult. I never did. I just covered, and let's go, whatever, man. We'll
broke 11 there.
Now 11. Yeah, I just got 11 out here. So the original Pult trade will go 13.20. It got some out because I thought it was going to be a totally different type of trade here, 12.80. I tried to pick some more shares up when it reclaimed that 12 like we were talking about. It tried to break 12. I wanted to see it trade above. How did it react? It reacted by flushing. I tried to get some short when it broke back down. No chance whatsoever. So PALT falling like an absolute rock. And you know what else is falling like a rock? And it's Moderna.
In the market.
And, I mean, no, yes, the market too, but like, give me a break. Moderna tries to find a bottom at that 330. Now here comes that 325 level. So I said 325. They just bounced off 325.28. So this is the one place I wanted to reload, and we're doing it way faster than I anticipated. This market is looking hella weak. My shorts are great. Like we just took to Facebook, that's where we're in the money. Merck is okay. BMRA, which we still have, is flushing, and it just broke that 570 level. But Moderna, wow, I don't see anything weaker than this one. I'm trying to catch the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Neo's pretty weak, but yeah, on news, yeah, Moderna right now, definitely leading the way on the downside. That's for damn sure. Yeah, we tried to pick up that Pfizer. Well, we did pick up the Pfizer. Pfizer's actually been pretty good for us right here. So, we'll wait to see. It hasn't been pretty good. It's holding up pretty good, I should say. We haven't made any money on it or anything like that, so we'll wait to see where it goes from here. But Pfizer right now, hopefully it can hold that bottom. We're going to try to hold out for that bottom, 4170 or so on Moderna. So we'll see if we can hold out for that. Ethereum and whatnot, kind of just dancing around a little bit here. We can see that it's 3200. We can go to a minute chart, see a little more accurate here for us. Trying to hold out. Whoops. Let's move it over. Right there it is. Okay, so it does touch out 3270. It's kind of been on a downwards, I don't want to say spiral, but it is starting to come to the downside right now, retesting that 3200 and holding, and then back up to 30. I mean, it's not a big move, but back up that 1%. So we'll see if it can continue to hold. Looks like it's trying to fade out right now. So that, of course, is the crypto space. And I know you had that Coinbase trade as well. So that's something to look at.
I covered that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know. I'm not even looking where it is. It's just what the market is doing.
I have no idea either.
It's one of those where, like, if you had longs that were working that might even remotely follow the market, it was that overwhelming feeling that you had to bank them. And I was just literally saying that Facebook had relative strength, but the short on that break was you can't ignore it. I'm not going to ignore the fact that it had the relative strength before the market started going further to the downside, but you had to take that trade. Quickly took a buck out of that one, and I hadn't even gone to the higher time frame to put in the lower targets, but you do look to the pre-market down 337. If 337 goes on Facebook, go to the daily chart here. 337 goes on Facebook. There is this dip that we had in July for 335. That area here, 33 to 35, that could come into play for sure. mRNA, it's just, I'm telling you, man, by like the skin of my teeth, these are working, right? Like the 330 bounce gives you the 34, then flushes. It bounces down to 25. I grabbed the long in front there and just able to get some back in front of 330. So I'm basically scalping inside of this, these $5 ranges while maintaining a position. For now, this is working out, but the way this chart is going and the way this market is going and the way Moderna's bid is, I'm not sure it's going to last. Now, this is the level that I liked, said 325, so we took it, and it's worked so far. But when you're trading counter trend, it's like it works until it doesn't, right? So this is the one stock where I'm fighting things. Just to come back to one of the small caps, I am still in BMRA. Just to note, it broke, look at what happened here. Like it broke that 570 and then slammed back into the upside, all while I'm trading other names, and comes right back down. this is a huge missed opportunity, but you know what? I'm trading Moderna. I was getting into Facebook. There's probably no way, unless I'm on the level 2, there's no way I'm going to actually get that trade. But I do need to think about taking some more shares off before 550 after I see a move like that happen. So I am going to cover some in front of 570 again in this particular time, just to make sure we get some more profit out there. And then if it does do another crazy spike up, I'd look to re-enter the trade at 625. But wow, sort of getting away by the skin of our teeth here in some of these moves. It was a good exit point on Pult, I think, off that downward halt. It looks like it's holding that 11 range for now, so we'll back away from this one. There's no way this stock is done. You know it's going to keep moving through the rest of the session, but I want to make sure we're very, very picky about the prices we get in. Lots of volatility today, right? So you don't have to overtrade. Opportunities are going to be there, as you can certainly see. And one of them on a stock which, wow, forget Merck, man. This should have been short this name. Brendo?
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. This one kind of just barely squeaks into the mid cap territory, but we'll talk about it anyways. I think it's like 2.9 billion market cap for this. AVIR was up on that Merck news as well, but really didn't have much to do with this company. So this was a huge move in the pre-market. Went from 34 to 50 in the pre-market and failed at 50. It was pretty obvious right away. As soon as the market opened, this thing just couldn't get out of its own way. There was no bid. Just straight down, about $6 or $7 there for AVIR. Watch 55 on that to the upside. Yeah, that was quite the stuff. This thing, BMRA just did into 620, 625, which was around VWAP. Tried to get back above VWAP, failed miserably. That got me out of the rest of it. But yeah, kind of just grinding to the downside. There's 650, and then obviously what we talked about just before the open, not going to come into play for BMRA. This chart of ride is... like I couldn't get shares on this. Like as soon as the market opened, you had to cross down 5 cents and only got one fill. So this looks kind of ridiculous. I took 2 stabs at this, but so weak for Lordstown, guys, right out of the gate today.
Yep.
That's, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The EV space is like nightmare. I mean, I just don't know what you do there. I mean, people try to catch some value. I don't know if there is any value there. So, yeah, just be careful with it is all really I could say. And I keep saying that about that space. So just watch out for it. We've averaged into Pfizer here. We're going to hold this until the bottom. So, hey, look, oh, Jesus. I mean, these futures, man, it's just like, wow, all the way to the downside, man. 14,550. We talked about it breaking. And I mean, here it is, man. Again, I hate doing it, right? Like, you know, we'll go boom for anybody that was short. But I mean, again, like this market, I'm not a buyer. I told you until the 1st or 2nd week in October, and right now we're right to the downside. So yeah, you know, congratulations to anybody that was able to hold out on this move. It might be time to start thinking about buying, but yeah, wow, big time moves to the downside. We're averaged in here on Pfizer.
Yeah, we're just taking back that, well, I just jinxed it. I always do. I was looking at Merck there for a second. I was saying we're just taking back that 330 level on Moderna, and then it was just a battle getting waged once again. It's like, it gets a bid, and you see the spike up here. I'll zoom in so this chart doesn't look as ridiculous. I mean, you can only do so much with this chart. But it's just, it gets a little bit of a bid, and the sellers just start jumping back in. Like it was just an iceberg at 330.50 that was holding it for a bit. That just broke. At this particular point, I've already done a couple of dips and done the scalp trade out. There's no way I'm not at least shooting for 340 here, right? Like I got to be thinking back into VWAP, this lower high, that 342. We're weak enough that I'm not this capitulation. I don't even know if it's going to be a jailbreak. So I'm staring $5. Remember, I've scalped that a couple of times here already. So I want to see if I can't hold on to it. I'm thinking Facebook might be finding a bit of a bottom. I'm sitting in front of that 337 low, but the NASDAQ is retesting that 14.5 bottom right now as we speak, and the ES is actually above that 42.8. So I mean, the ES is pretty far from that low, maybe 20 handles away from that low at the 60 level. And if both find a bid, you know, Facebook was relatively strong in the midst of this move, so it might be one of the first ones to recover. So if it gets anywhere near that 37, I'll definitely get out. I'm actually considering putting a trail in and just locking it in. Like if it goes back above 339.50, then $1 is all I'm going to get out in this trade. I don't want this thing to go first. If it was relatively strong before, I would anticipate on a bounce it wants to be the first thing that I want to cover. So if it breaks a low, I'll try to find my way out of it between 37 and 38. Otherwise, my stop is in to try to lock in at least $1 worth of profit. A couple of other names that I guess we got away from a little bit. That Bed Bath & Beyond. I mean, I kind of meant to look at this today. And then look, there was just too much happening. Another move to the downside, but it is actually holding, at least for now, a bit of a higher low. 15.5 was that bottom from yesterday's action. Maybe that gets tested today. Certainly worth a look. Not ignoring it on purpose, but there's been a lot of other fish to fry in this particular day. And speaking of one of those, ATER is consolidating down at $11. If it takes out that level, not ATR, PULT is what I meant there. PULT, if it takes out that 11 level, there was a bottom in the afternoon in yesterday's action here at about 950 that could come into play. So maybe I should have held on to this one. I wanted to short pops if I could instead of breakdowns, just a preferred way to get in for me.
Short the pops. Okay, we're in PULT again. It's been bouncing around here. We did get taken out when it broke 11, but we're back into it just to see what does happen there on PULT. I don't know. I mean, this one I understand is just going to be a little bit of a flyer trade here on this. So we'll see. If it breaks back down below, then we'll get out. It's kind of an easy base for there. Good short on that name for sure. This is holding out at that 35.30 level, but again, with the futures still down, that almost now down 1% and down 0.3 on the S&P. Not great for some tech names, so we'll have to watch out. We're still holding out for our Pfizer as well. On that note, let's check out CCL. We talked about CCL early, and it didn't really do too much. It did take out early. Wow, that 26 level was great off the open up to 26.50, and now faded back in a little bit. That's CCL. On the daily, it's not going to do too much on there. Let's just check out a 20-minute chart. Yeah, I mean, if we were around here, maybe I'd be more excited about it, but it's kind of just bouncing around here, CCL. So good trade here, but I mean, maybe off the pre-market lows, 25.50, but I'm long everything. So, I don't know if this is a name that I need to be in right now. So we'll hold out on CCL and just hope that everything else can sort of rally for us, including Pfizer, man. My day is going to be made on Pfizer, maybe. If it can rally back to the upside there, I know Moderna is probably starting to go as well, so that might be something to look at, and right back to positive now. Maybe we'll take out a piece. Just went to 42 there and then just dropped like a rock back to 95, damn it. So we're averaged in at 99s. I want to take out one piece there at 99. It's bouncing around here. Actually, no, you know what? That just held 95. So let's see if we can get back going here. A little bit above 42. We'll take some out, and then we'll see if we can get it going back to the upside. But right now, Moderna's, Pfizer's my really only concern right here, but here it comes, so let's take a piece out.
Yeah, Moderna's still holding above that 330, so I guess that's probably a good sign. But a sign for the market here, I'm going to get to Costco because someone was asking about that one. But my Facebook just got trailed out for that only the dollar winner when that broke back to the upside. So maybe we're catching a bit of a bid here overall. Cares about the 1 minute chart. Costco getting right over to this, it's not there yet, but this 435 to 440 area. So that's another one that's been previously strong. It just recently, look, it just broke the 50 period here. So maybe it's a little bit early to be dumping into this thing, but there is a support level at that 35 to 40 range. Somewhere in that $5 range could come into play today. You'll see what happened the last time I tried to pick bottoms on Costco. In front of 460, tight stop, loser. In front of 450, tight stop, loser, and neither one of those caught a bit of a bounce. So take it with a grain of salt, man. Like, I tried the day trade on this thing twice. I think it's a great company long term, but I've had no success trying to do like day trade pick at the bottom. Now, neither time did I have like a big stop, but both times having the tight stop ended up saving me money. Like, instead of losing like $5, I was losing $1, and sometimes that's even just a spread on this bloody stock. Oh, Moderna. So I keep thinking this is going to be the absolute wipeout bottom, and then we're going to run to the top. It was holding above 330. Now we're back to that same battle once and again. So Moderna trying to catch that bid. It just, it's trying hard, but every single time they keep selling each one of these pops here. I'm long. The latest long here is in front of that 25 at 326.40, and we'll see what happens. Merck, I'll give it one more shot in front of 83.5, but that clearly is, it's got the relative strength. They're the ones with the positive news. I thought it was too far. I was obviously wrong about that. Well, not yet, but we'll see what happens because I didn't take anything out in front of 81 or in front of 80.50. That could have been a nice $3 winner. Instead, I'm looking to jump back into the short. If it takes out the high, then I'm walking away from thinking that Merck can be a short. I'll make money on it at the end of the day, but it should have been a better trade. I should have recognized that relative strength and gotten out of everything. Look at how long it's supported down here, right? It was down here for about 20 to 30 minutes, and I could have covered it in front of 81, and I didn't do it, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, yeah, we can't make all the calls. But yeah, good call regardless, man. Don't worry about that. We can't hold on to things. Like, we're just trading too many names, to be honest with you. Like, if you guys are sitting there thinking like, oh, maybe this should happen, that should happen, like, it's a little bit easier when you're sitting there watching, every single position. Like, I have AMC, NEO, Pult, Pfizer, Palantir's on board as well. So, not on board now, but, that's a name that I'm looking at. So, there's lots happening, and you just got to watch out for them. Like, just right now, I loaded up on Pfizer, so it comes right back to view up, and we're starting to get it out now. So first bid is at 05, next bid is at 93, right? So that gives me a nice average price of, I think it was like 97, 98. So it was 99 actually. So right now we're starting to go back to the upside. So on a decent amount of shares, if we could take out like 7, 8, 9 cents on this move when I'm negative on the market, I think it's well worth doing that. So right now we'll watch out for it. That's Pfizer, where it takes them out if it comes up to the upside. I have some layered offers up there, right? So there is something there, hopefully, to do that. Merck, NVAX is down right now. Yeah, Palantir. So we did get out of our Palantir. Am I positive on Palantir today? Ooh, no, I'm paying fees. Palantir is very, very close. So it's right back at this support, man. It did support that 75. There's no doubt about that. I think Palantir probably right now is going to be worth a bit of a buy off that bottom, especially if we do think the futures are going to try to go now. So, let's take a bid here at 81 if we can get it on Palantir. Even higher, I mean, I don't mind punching this 82 either. We'll wait for 81. There we go. So now we're long into it. If the futures hold out, that'll be great. We should have a runner to the upside. Other than that, I'm not going to give this one too much room. Like 70s. 70s is where we'll get out. We'll take another bid at 76 here, and then we'll watch out for 70, because if that cracks, then we don't want to be holding Palantir. It's well worth it for me now to see if we can get back to the upside here. But if it doesn't go, man, we're already long Pfizer. We already have some nice positions on, so we don't need to worry about it. Let's average into Palantir. What's up, B?
Just saw a few headlines on General Motors coming across here. Looks like they are also out with some delivery numbers here, guys. 440,000 in the U.S. in Q3, talking about semiconductor shortage, hampering that number a little bit. I mean, the stock's really not doing much, dead flat on the day, but actually some buy volume coming in here on a few headlines for GM. It's 10:30. Let's get a quick check on how things in Europe are shaping up. Miss V, what's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are negative. BMW trading in Germany is up around 1% after lifting its annual profit margin forecast. Back to you.
Yeah, just seeing Regeneron as well, guys. Another one down on that Merck news today.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just saying, Moderna's back to that low again. It just bounced off it. I don't even want to reload my position. It's just going to note some relative strength here because GM flat on the day, Ford flat on the day, despite what you're seeing overall in some of the other names. Fisker flat on the day, right? So when we talk about the EV space, I know we've probably said a couple of times EVs getting crushed when we looked at Ride and NEO and some other names there, but just note that there is some actual strength in the tech space. Relative strength. In something like a Salesforce. CRM looking pretty strong as well. And I just wanted to check back in on Zoom because I'm a little bit surprised because I was like, holy crap, Neil, you said like around that 260 to 265 area on Zoom, and you didn't bottom pick it. And given how weak the market just came in there, I'm surprised to actually see Zoom still hanging out at 265. I kind of expected to see it down at like 260 or so, looking more weak. Yes, they had the termination of the deal. It was an all-stock deal, so I guess they're saving some money there. Well, not saving some money, I guess not diluting the shares is a better way to put it. But Zoom right at that support level. Now I'm going to take a shot on Zoom, and this is a different play for Moderna. Like the vaccine type of names that are flushing, that's a bit different from what is going on in the overall market, especially with the tech names coming back in. So it's not the same kind of bottom pick, but Zoom, I liked it at that support area, at least for sure, between 260 and 265. The fact that I can look up is the NASDAQ is trying to hold the low at that 14.5 level, and Zoom is trying to hold that same price area. If it bounces, like as long as I don't want us breaking this 14.5, and I might let this one figure itself out on the NASDAQ before I get into this trade. Don't need to rush into any long trades, but in this cluster, that 60 to 65 area is where I want to pick it up. I need to see the NASDAQ making any kind of a bounce here, and as I say that, it's retesting those lows, so going to have to be a little bit more patient with that one. I am still holding on to BMRA, and this short might not care about what happens in the overall market because it's a small cap name. It is bouncing off 550. Last hour was at 570. If it can't get back through this 575, 580 area, I'm probably just holding on for dear life on a 550 break and see if it can't flush even further, guys. So, I'm trying to be very, very patient with some of these longs. I just said that I wouldn't reload on Moderna in front of that 325. I didn't, and it tried to make another bounce here. At this point, it's binary, man. Either the low holds, and I can get out in front of VWAP for like a $10 to $14 winner, or I'm just going to take, like the $1.50, $2 hit and walk away from this because, to go long in the stock and even be up at all the way the market's going today, I'll take that as a bit of a win. And just to come back over to Facebook, so it's starting to come back. Like I put the trail in, thinking it was either 37 or the trail at 33.50. Facebook's already back to that breakdown point at 33.40.50. That's why I kind of thought the market was making a bottom. Facebook of the FANG names, from what I checked, was the last to break down and try to test those lows, and it's already back to positive on the session. So maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't. I can now do this. That's for you, Moderna. I fought Moderna and Moderna. I'll be up on Moderna, but I think Moderna won in my estimation because I didn't short it today, right? Like I've been shorting every single trade for the last like month has been shorting Moderna when I get a chance, and then the one day it's probably the weakest is I'm trying to bottom pick it. So I can be up on the stock all I want, but that doesn't mean it was the optimal outcome. The optimal outcome would have been to note that 360 level that we're talking about, and then be willing to go short off of that level. I've usually preferred to short pops on Moderna and those curl trades. This was just a simple breakdown, hit the bottom, and then hold it. Like that was just, it was a breakout trade, a breakdown trade, and I didn't take it.
Yep, adios amigos. Yeah, I'm actually very, very surprised as well because our FIs are actually working out for us. We did pick that bottom one more time on that name. So a little bit less volatile, obviously, than a Moderna. Well, I mean, I guess it is. I mean, looking at it, it is. So, no bold statement there. But I just picked this one up. Playing with a little bit bigger share size, obviously, than Neil would be on Moderna. So I got to have, obviously holding it for $3-4 on a $300 name, a little bit different than holding it for maybe a dime or something on a $40 name. So, trade whatever your account could hold. But both these names really in big time trouble today. I mean, much more so Moderna. Pfizer's only down right now 2.5, right? So Moderna today down, getting clobbered, man, down 15%, like unbelievable. Some of these moves right now. So, okay, that's what we have. Palantir, we've averaged into this one, and whoa, it does go right. Darn it, I missed that. It did go right back into the money there. Wasn't really paying too much attention to it when I should have been. Moderna does go right back into the money, so watch out for that. Or sorry, Moderna. Palantir looks like it may take out the bottom though. So yeah, a little bit of risky spot here for me.
Yeah, and you're gonna get to. We got a question about Disney. And it is worth noting, like there are names that are relatively strong. I threw a bunch in the chat there, and I was mentioning to you as well, but I didn't say Disney, and Disney's up 2.5% on the session, bouncing off of some support levels. And again, and we always go back, and when in doubt, zoom out, right? So if you're in front of support like this at 167, 168, you already put in that low last week, you had this bottom and a wipeout, and then consolidation higher. So strong move for Disney, but it's been a dog for a long time now. Just finally trying to get off the schneid. There's another name which I absolutely love and have been looking for an opportunity to get into. Might have missed one today on Danaher in the healthcare sector. Wow, that daily chart cannot be shown to you guys. That is horrible. It's one of the strongest names in healthcare that you can find. They don't pay a gigantic dividend, but it's finally pulling back here. It's not quite, I guess it was 10% off the top when it had the wipeout bottom. But it's not anymore. It actually bounced off of 290 hard and back to that 300 level. So I want to see the stock consolidate, but it's on my shopping list on further dips in the market. Moderna. So I didn't reload before, but this might still, like, there's a decent chance this is still the bottom, right? Like it stops out here at that 325. It tries to go to 323.5, and now we're right back into the upside. So, a 325 long in front of that previous high could be an idea for a bit of a trade. And I'm also watching Pulse. Right? I don't want to get too far away from the Pulse, which I want to be shorting on a bit of a pop. Now it broke that 11, got down to 1050. I didn't take the breakdown trade. I said I wanted to short it on a pop. That halt was at 1165 or so. So between that and that $12, like that's my target entry on PALT if it spikes to the upside. I don't want it on a halt, but I want it somewhere in that range if I can catch a bit of a short. So it's trying to catch a bid. It's still up on the day, right? Like despite that huge flush to the downside, PALT is up on the session. And there are some buyers that are trying to step into this, and they managed to successfully at least hold above that 11 for now. So if I can get it, 1165 to 12 even, I wouldn't want that 12 to break, and I wouldn't want to get caught in a short either. Brendo, what's up?
I just saw big volume coming into Coinbase, guys, to the downside. Did try to bounce there off 230, but you can see volume coming into Coinbase to the downside. There was a headline that just came across talking about a new hack, apparently, that affected some accounts in Coinbase. So heads up there.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what it's about. I mean, you just did. You called it what it was about there. Some sort of a coin hack there into their wallets, I guess. I don't know. that's surprising. I don't know how much money or how many coins were stolen there, but just making a move back to the downside. I mean, it's not a huge move here, but yeah, Coinbase definitely down now to the downside, so we'll have to watch out for that. Palantir now back into the money here for us again. This is where I said we should probably take some out if we see this. So we'll put some outs at 87 again. Nice movement. I mean, bang, bang, bang. This is exactly the kind of trading that I'm doing all the time here on the show. I like to do these average in plays when you're into some levels. So thank you for whoever pointed that out here on the market and on Palantir specifically, because a nice little move back there for PLTR. So yeah, pretty happy with the way this one's moving right now.
Someone's asking, like, Jay Nibble, can you please explain why you got out of Moderna? I'd say because I have paper hands is what I'm starting to think about. Because like this, I spent like the last couple of minutes here after getting that out, and then it does that immediately. Like, I don't mind getting out on that bottom, right? Like enough attempts at bottom picking, and 2 times when I thought we had it, and then it's going to continue to hold lower highs the entire way. I don't mind stopping out at that low in that set of circumstances, but what I should have done the second it immediately recovered is just be back long through 325 here. Like I should have an entry point somewhere around here, and then still try to bottom pick it because it is still in a consolidation point. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind getting out of it. The way that it went down, it certainly should have been getting out of it, just in case it broke that 325 for good. But I should have jumped right back in when it resisted breaking further from that level. So I had missed that. I'm not going to chase it $4 or $5 here. If it comes back and gives me a shot, 25s, I'll probably go ahead and take it. While we send you to what is, I mean, oddly enough, it seems like a mixed board, but Brennan is standing in front of the biggest piece of red. And if you can't guess what that's going to be, then you haven't been watching the show. Time for Sector Watch.
I've seen it worse before. I've definitely seen it worse. There's some positive. 0.3 right now for the S&P. It's travel. Travel is the only positive. We'll get that right out of the way. Here's all the cruise lines, some of the hotels over here, the consumer discretionary. Here's all the airlines. Again, 5% for UAL. Somebody mentioned that earlier. We saw love on the upgrades board this morning, if you remember. Southwest, 3.5%. So outside of travel and some energy positivity, oil's higher today, so the energy group in positive territory. Yeah, there's not much to lean on as far as individual stocks. The materials group is very volatile today, to say the least. IFF, CF, both up 5 and 6.5%, but IP, NUE, and ALB 3.5% to 5% in the other direction. So a lot of big movers in the materials group today. Communication stocks also having a busy day as well. Lots of big movers there. But healthcare stocks are the main story. There's Moderna. Yeah, 13.8 currently to the downside. Gilead's here, Bio, CTLT, ILMN. That's Regeneron, Merck right beside it there, 9.3%. So Merck kind of kicked off this whole selling party, and the rest of this group, they're the only ones positive on the day. Retail names also worth mentioning, guys. Very weak for retail. We've seen some positivity in this group throughout the week. Etsy leading the way, down about 4%, but they're all here, about 1.5 to 2% for retailers as well. But I mean, it's 0.3 for the S&P, guys. Back to you.
It's not that bad. Yeah, 0.3 is not that bad. So start to pick up some stock if you need any. But right now, Palantir, just more scalp city here. We're long 76. It's up a dime, so we're just taking some out now, 15 cents or so. We will continue to do that. Pfizer, I mean, that's going to be a good trade for me, man. I mean, all the sells are above the buys, so we're pretty happy with Pfizer so far today. The only stock that I'm really like just sitting here waiting for something to happen, and I guess I'm going to get stopped out here because NEO just doesn't pop up here. We tried it one more time. I thought maybe it might pop through 50 there. It doesn't. It's just hanging out. So even on the market rebounding here a little bit, I mean, is this a rebound? I don't know. But on that little spike back up, I think we still need to clear this area for sure, if we're going to do anything, but that's 14,600 on the NASDAQ. So we'll wait to see. But for right now, it doesn't look like NEO wants to go. And this is our kill spot anyways, man, 35.30. So if that comes out, then we're going to be gone through that. So right now, NEO looks like it's trying to struggle and just can't get going here. So that's the one stock that's going to fade out for us. Palantir, Pfizer working out well. And then we still have AMC, man. We're still waiting to see if this goes up one more time. There's a nice little buying opportunity down here at 38.50. So, AMC still making some moves. Fisker back down to red as well. Disney up 2%, which is nice. And DraftKings up 3.5%. So that's a nice one.
Yeah, good. Nice. DraftKings up on daily today. Just worth noting, I think we might have briefly mentioned Virgin Galactic. Yeah, still weak. Still going down. down like 4% here. It is getting into, I guess going to yesterday's, I guess the dip jump off in the pre-market here, 23.85 or so to 24. I think that could be an interesting bottom if it even gets there. But just a quick look back at Facebook, which at the time was of the FANG names. Well, I should maybe look at all of them. I didn't really take a look at Apple. I just made an assumption where the market was going, that at the time Facebook was relatively strong. It's still up on the session, and like I said, I got trailed out of my position here, and it looks like it's trying to get back up off the bottom. The NASDAQ is holding 14.5 for now. I might have missed the shot at Zoom for that long in front of around 265 because it went to 63. I think it's back to the upside. Facebook has a chance to reclaim that same level from before, like this 341. So might be taking a bit of a break on Facebook if it can get there. Well, if it gets there next like 10, 15 minutes, I'll have it either way, but we'll have it for you on this show. Otherwise, it'll have to wait till memes and movers or maybe a little bit later on. But the bid is trying to come into this market down here. So you are seeing some signs of strength, and it's not even just, it's not just in some of the bigger cap names that are trying to turn around here. As I look at, Moderna's still at 329, 330 level, but even that small cap that I'm hanging on to, that BMRA, it's getting a bit of a bid here in front of that 550, like I mentioned. I'm kind of looking to see if it can break down through. If it doesn't break this time, that 550, it's a current 554 bottom. Kind of splitting hairs. If it doesn't break 550 in the next like 10, 15 minutes, I don't think I want this thing reclaiming 580. Like that would be probably just throwing away an extra 20 to 30 cents. So I'm going to trail this one at 580. And there's almost just, it's just playing defensive. If you think the bottom has come in into the market, I think even some of these smaller cap names could go. And sort of with that, like, look at CI has been actually bouncing a little bit. PALT, which I want to be shorting pops, that's also trying to bounce. So if it breaks here at 1140, it's going to set up and look like a breakout trade all day, right? Like you're sort of looking at that lower bottom, and then this 1140 like top here holds. You got to break at least until the halt price or back up to that 12. I'm looking to fade that move so long as it does not halt. If it's going into a halt, that's likely to be obviously like 10%, right? So that's why I'd be shorting in front of the 12 range. I wouldn't be even thinking about 1250 or 1260. If it breaks out here and goes more than like $1.50, you could be going into a halt trade. So I want the curl to be at $12, nowhere near that halt range.
Brendan, did I hear?
What?
This go-go, guys, it's been hanging around this week, if you remember. Past couple of days, at least, we've had decent moves in this. 9% again today, just popped up to 52-week highs for go-go.
Go, eh? Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have a look at some of these names here as Pfizer, Palantir. Palantir's starting to go as well. A nice move up to 90 there. So yeah, we're just scalping the bottoms of this name. And it looks like so far so good on PLTR. So really happy with this performance, needless to say, here today on the name. So I think we found some nice bottoms. I'm actually just waiting a little bit lower. This is almost a time to pull the trigger here on Palantir for personal accounts and stuff like that. So getting very, very close to thinking about that. So it resisted really nicely. You crossed the 50-period moving average, and now I was sort of waiting for in year, like 22-ish. I said that yesterday, 23. So, if we can get back down, that's great. But right now, Palantir, 22 cents in the money. So I will hit a little bit of air horn action on that one, as it looks like it still wants to go. So Palantir so far, nicely done, back up to $24. And we picked these bottoms, and thanks to the crowd, because you guys brought this to my attention, and it looks like it's going to make me a decent amount of cash. So thank you so much for that, as it looks like Palantir right now making moves back to the upside into this area. Let's take some out, man. If you're long with me, let's take some out. Big bump up there, big bump up in the market here. Our NEO's trying to go, man, but it's not, and that's the one thing that concerns me the most. If you look at NEO here, it's not going. Like, we get a bump up in the market. Like, look at Palantir. You want to talk about a strong name? Bang, market goes up. Palantir says thank you. NEO, though, holding out at the bottom, not doing much. So, yep, all we're doing, man, is putting everything up here and then figuring this out for next time. So, we know what stocks are strong. We know what stocks are weak. We're wrong on NEO today for sure, because that's holding out the bottom. If I bought and picked on anything else, we'd probably be crushing it right now. But NEO, not the right name.
Yeah, it's going to be the same thing for me, man. I'll be red on NEO. And I'm not going to get positive on it because I'm not even looking at that thing today. It's just, I probably will, but I'm not going to overtrade for sure.
Look at Pfizer.
Facebook broke that 341. You'll see I did get the long, but I've also covered my Merck position. So I'm all out of Merck. The last will be for a $2 winner. But this is kind of goes to Moderna. It's like, I'm up on Moderna, but I said in the chat, like, I might be up on Moderna, but I was wrong about Moderna today. It should have been a breakdown trade at that 360 level. The level was good. I just wasn't using it the right direction today. And then we're fortunate enough to find a bottom in a falling market. And I did not cover Merck optimally either. I should have got the last of it at 81. It manages to hold this 83. I was waiting for reload just a little bit higher, but I'm going to be all out here. I don't want it to hold this relative strength at 81 even, and I don't cover. So all done with Merck, I think, for the rest of the day here. I got that long into Facebook because the market's trying to hold up here. So that was the first thing I went to see the relative strength. When it broke down below that 341, we did scalp a couple times for $1. Now I'm looking for the long trade. And if the market pulls a reversal here, I mean, I see no way Facebook's not getting back to at least the 43 to 44 range. So, I want to definitely, it's lunchtime, right? So, well, it's close to lunchtime, I should say. So I definitely want to take some out in the midst of this range, like the 42 to 43 range. But I also want to hold out for some at the absolute top. I have a wick up here showing 352, but the high for me would be 344. So I want to be out in front of 344 on Facebook. We'll see if we can't get that pop over lunchtime.
Yeah, lessening some exposure here, but not much on NEO. I thought we could get 56s. There it is. So yeah, just taking out some of the exposure here on NEO, but not much. I mean, if I'm holding out for this long, we might as well see where we can go. So we're going to see if NEO wants to now go up to the upside. We have our targets for the downside. For the upside, I mean, 35.80. If I can get this thing back to positive, man, I would be loving life on NEO. So I'd probably start taking it out 70s and into the 80s. I mean, my average price right now is 86. So I don't know. If we get to that, then that would be fantastic. I don't think we do that, but we'll wait to see if NEO can, catch a bid now. Especially the Nasdaq has definitely caught a bid. There goes Pfizer. We took it out at VWAP, like bang bang. Like this one. Honestly, guys, we rolled the dice on this, and this really paid off. So right now, maybe I'll see some of you guys in Vegas, but that was a nice move upside right there. 42.08. We just took that out. So we took a shot on this name. It was a little bit of a risk there, but well paid off. Here goes NEO again, making moves to the upside. Mid 60s, let's take some more off. Just super happy to get out with our shirt still on here on NEO, because yeah, that almost, man, like right there, that made no sense. We were almost out right there. So let's just take this out, put some of this, negative capital back in our pocket, because if this tanks again, the futures tank, man, we're gonna regret not taking some more out at 60. So again, we took out 10%. We'll take it another 10% here, and we'll hold that 80% and see if we get a little bit higher on this name. But right now, over to the big screen with my favorite, it's Money Talk.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's have a look at how things are shaping up. There's a little bit of weakness overall this morning in the U.S. dollar following that August consumption number we had this morning. Again, a number that is widely used by the Fed central bank to judge inflation. So to the downside here, this was actually positive when we started off this morning. So a lot of these getting a boost on that, including the Canadian dollar. We got GDP numbers here in this country this morning at 8:30 as well that were a little bit higher than expected. So this is also reversing back to positive territory. Same story for the pound. 0.5% for the pound, 135 and change today. Cryptos, yeah, having a nice day. 46, almost 47 there for Bitcoin. 3,200 was trying to hold for Ethereum, but just dipping back below there. Still 7.5% for ETH, guys.
Yeah, holding. What's not holding? Well, it's holding up now at the bottom, but hasn't been holding up all day. It's Walmart. I see some people in chat talking about Walmart. Of course, Brandon mentioned during Sector Watch, retail has not been the best today. Walmart getting real close to that 135. I'll tell you that much. So, I mean, you get your shopping list out, and then sometimes things come a little bit sooner than life comes at you fast, right? So 135 comes at you fast as well on Walmart. Apparently, it's got a low here at just below 136. Kind of a wipeout bottom at 136. It took out the level, couldn't go even 10 cents and comes right back in, and then puts in a higher low, as we can see here at 136 even. So this does set up for a bit of a bottom pick. I got Facebook here, which is basically flat. I mean, Walmart's probably even tighter risk because you're essentially 30 cents away from that low. So down at these levels, you're not really risking a heck of a lot. That's primarily the reason I'm pretty comfortable with it. So I'll take into this one. What should be the long is obviously Moderna. Like I said, no matter, I'll be up on it in the day, but I'm still wrong in my estimation. I got out probably too early. If it breaks back up, if this stock recovers, like, give me a break. Like, there's no way some of these others aren't going to come back if Moderna can catch a bit of a bid here. And with that, there's a couple of names that we've been semi-ignoring. I don't want to say we have been, but sort of semi-ignoring here. I did have SoFi earlier on in the session on that breakout trade. I said I should have got it all out. When it turned at 40, I did not. I then had to stop out the last third of the trade when 16 broke. So still positive on it, but when the market reversed, when the market was that weak, some of these long trades, you just really had to cover a little bit sooner than expected, right? And that's a lesson sometimes you learn. And thankfully, I got some out on the way up here, but SoFi trying to reclaim that 16 level. And again, it is up on the session. So there is some relative strength here, but there was no point fighting the stock all the way back. So just got into Walmart. Walmart's starting to make a bit of a bounce here. Facebook, only about 20 cents in the money. Walmart only, it's not that much in the money. I think the bottom line is trying to bottom pick this market, and we're about 40 handles off the bottom. It's going.
Yeah, we got a lot of money here today off some of these moves, man. Palantir, a big one for us today as we just start stacking up the cash right now. And I said that kind of, tongue-in-cheek there when you asked Goldman who covers the losses, and I said what losses. I actually didn't have a negative day in September, but to answer your question, it just rolls over, right? So if I lost $1,000 in September, then I would start October 1st. Let's go, Palantir. Like, let's go, man. Chicken dinner winners today. I would start October 1st. Oh, yeah, this has music behind it, doesn't it? All right. You'd start October 1st minus $1,000 in your account. You got to make that back. And of course, because we're on a prop firm, a prop floor, we get a percentage of our wins. So of our net, I shouldn't say wins, just whatever the net is at the end of the month. So let's just say I was up 10 grand yesterday, going into yesterday, and I lost $5,000 yesterday. Then my total for September would be up 5,000. So if I get 50% of that, 90% of that, whatever the percent is, then that's what I would get, and then I would start at zero, therefore, in October 1st. So if you're profitable, you get paid out on your profits, and if you're negative, they roll forward. So that's how it works on pretty much. I mean, I've only ever been on this prop floor, owned our own floor as well, and I've been here 22 years. So that's how it works here, and that's, so hopefully that's true for a lot of you guys as well, for if you're on a floor. But there goes, okay, so Pfizer, we already took that out. Palantir is just like, hello, it's on one right now. That's going to be a good trade for me. And then look what's happening now. Bang! I don't even care that I'm going to be down on NEO. I'm not even going to be down that much. And like, if this comes back up, man, we held this, we waited for this banger to come through, and it did. So right now, nice trades happening. $1.25 in the money on AMC. We held out strong for that one, so we'll catapult ourselves. Thanks for watching today, guys. NEO's been a good hold for me. Pfizer's just been tick, 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 boom. Nice trade there. And then Palantir, man, the writing's on the wall with that one. That's just straight to the upside. So it's been a big day for us. CEI, unfortunately, fell down right there through 290. So we're able to take profits there, fell back down. Now it's right at this level that we like again. I don't mind CEI breaking through 320 coming up soon, but that's going to be another negative stock and just barely for us. I'm ending the show at the highest spot I've been at all day. Thank you to NEO, Pfizer, and Palantir.
Yeah, I just covered my last short, so I'm even out of that BMRA now. And it's just I'm rolling with Facebook and Walmart longs to end the day. Which, I mean, it's a considering how the day started. Of course, if you've been following along in the morning, it's a weird place to be at. But we're catching a bit of a bid here, so we're going to ride that train. It's only about 90 seconds or so before you guys get over to memes and movers. But there's one thing we do before we get there. We find out what national day it's going to be.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day and this week was profitable for you. Thank you very much for all the support, super chats, welcome new members and new subscribers. And guys, of course, please don't forget to like this video. Your support means a lot to us and we need way more likes. Me and Prad are super excited to start memes and movers just in 2 minutes. Please continue trading with us. You can find the link on the chat or just stay and you'll be automatically transferred. And happy National Homemade Cookies Day.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good day.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I love those. Those are like some oatmeal. What is that? I don't know what that is.
But I can't really tell.
That's looking very, very good. Someone said it's National Palantir Day. So I say yes, sir, to that one. As Palantir right now, 45 cents in the money and still continuing to rip up. So I know that we're all big fans of cookies. Actually, the wife made a pumpkin spice muffins yesterday with a nice cream cheese topping and everything like that. So that was an absolute killer for that. The kids actually like those now, so that's good.
Oh, Dan's asking how hockey trials went.
Oh yeah. So who was asking that?
Dan Duval. I just saw the chat.
Oh yeah. So the actual, it's this Sunday is the final trial. Yeah. So those are just skates around with the team. Again, he's gonna have to. So we're not in the biggest league, and he's gonna have to play for. I think it's gonna be an under 11 team, and he's like 9 right now. So in hockey, that's it's a little bit much to overcome. But hey, we'll hope out for the best for him. And then if not, man, he's super happy to play in house league, and he's just, he loves to play hockey and get out there and get some exercise. So thanks, Dan, for asking.
There you go. And of course, it's 11 o'clock. We'll be back. Don't worry. We'll be back for power. For power hour at the end of the day.
There goes Microsoft.
Round out the week. This market is catching.
Just took a softy long through 285.
But you guys are headed over to Memes and Movers. It's time for Trader Pratt and Miss V. Hope they got longs right now.
Hey guys, welcome back to Memes and Movers. I'm your host, Trader Pratt. This is beautiful Miss V. Am I right?
Thank you, Brad, and hey guys, thank you for joining us today. Happy Friday to you. Happy first day of October. I hope you're doing great as usual. Be active on the chat. Ask us anything you want. Write what you trade and what you want us to take a look at. Of course, make sure to like this video and let's get it started. Well, markets